Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This is a story about what if Naruto and his girlfriend trained in wave. Before I start, please support for more amazing content, and do consider subscribing to my channel and share this video with your friends. This is written by Oxy27 and link in description and support writer. Let's start the video. I own nothing I may use. They didn't give us enough time. I had things under control. Why did they shoot the damn laser, assholes? They probably took this chance to get rid of me. They said I was too strong. I tried to ignore the signs, but I should have listened to Hinata-chan. Shit, Hinata-chan. I hope she and the baby are alright. I should go and look for them. Naruto looked around only to see endless darkness around him. He was in space, but there was at least a big-ass sun and bright stars. There was nothing. He was all alone and cold. Hey, you're not alone. I am still here. The friendly giant spoke from inside of his head. Kurama! Oh boy, am I glad to hear you, buddy. Do you know where we are? Naruto shouted, not finding a need to be silent if Noon was around to tell him to be quiet. Especially Sakura, she was louder than he was. I have no idea. Maybe we are dead. His blunt answer gave Naruto no comfort. If that's the case, where is the white light and big gates? I would have liked to walk through them with Hinata-chan. He said the last part sadly, the fact that he was dead, and his Hinata was not with him. If she isn't here, maybe she survived somehow. He smiled at that thought only to frown later. But that means she will have to raise their child by herself, and his child will never know his father. A single tear came from his eye at that. This isn't what he wanted. Don't worry about it, Naruto. She will do a good job and raise the baby right. Kurama tried to help his friend. He too was also attached to the violet-haired vixen. Yeah, but I'll miss them. His attention was snapped upwards when he saw something appear in front of him. It was a giant white gate with a bright white light. Well, Kurama, let's see what awaits us. Naruto walked right into the gates with no regard as to what might happen to him. His vision was filled with nothing but white until he couldn't see anything else. Opening his eyes once again, he can see that he is in his beat-down apartment looking right into the busted light of his ceiling. Looking around, he is confused as to what he is seeing. His bedroom from when the old man gave it to him. What the hell is going on? Why am I in my room? There is no way my room is heaven, unless Hinata-chan is in the bed with me. He giggles perversely from remembering their well-spent times. He got up and fell right to the floor. Damn. It seems that I am not used to this little body of mine. That is not good. It means I will have to train my body again. I won't be able to do all my badass moves. He paused at that. How can he remember all of this stuff? Did he keep all his previous knowledge from his past life? Oh my god, I remember everything. That means I have to do it all again. He dropped to his bed and let out an annoyed groan. That means he has to deal with Sasuke, Sakura, the village, Obito, and everyone else all over again. At least this time I will be 100 times stronger, and hopefully tip the world on its head. I should be careful though. If I change too much, all the information I have will be useless. I should also hold some of my skills back to not be an open book again. He walked into his kitchen to see where he was sent back to. So the academy starts next week. That means the boring classes all over again. But more importantly, I can see Hina-chan again. He had a hard time not running right over to her house and wrapping her up in a hug. Let's see about my pal Kurama. He took a seat on his couch and tried to make contact with his furry friend. He found himself in the familiar dump that was his mind and vowed to change it for his friend once again. Walking the familiar roads of his mind, he made his way to where Kurama was being held. He ran up to the bars, but before he could get too close he had to dodge a sharp nail, but due to not being used to his little body he wasn't able to dodge the tails that shot towards him and smacked him hard into the wall. D-damn fox. He fell out the wall onto his face. Well, look at the little man. Kurama laughed at the struggling boy trying to get off the ground. You have become weak once again. Once the strongest ninja in history and now the weakest kid in the village. We have some work to do, Naruto. Kurama came to the light and had a tawdry grin on his face and clear amusement in his eyes. You bastard, and to think I was going to fix up this place for you again. But after that I don't think I will. He crossed his arms and turned around. Wait, I was just testing you, no need to be like that. Kurama said, trying to convince him to change his mind. Only to hear the laughter of Naruto. It's fine. I am glad you did that actually, it shows me that I have a lot of work to do. Last time you tried that I shoved a dozen Raisengans into you. Naruto turned around to smirk at him, making Kurama growl. You only won because your mom helped you and I wasn't at full power. I bet you won't do it again though. Kurama gave him a challenging grin. You're right, I am not stupid. But is it me or do you look bigger than usual? Indeed, Kurama looked bigger than he remembered him being at this age. So you've noticed. He grinned down at Naruto. It seems that I kept all of my power and stayed whole. You even stayed connected with your darkness. So the sooner you take this seal off, the sooner you can use my power, and I can be outside. Oh my god, why do you have to be like that? You want me to use your power so bad. I swear you act like a child sometimes. What did you say? Who are you calling a child? I could crush you right here. Kurama was up against the bars of the cage glaring at Naruto, who was glaring right back at him. Plus I didn't ever see you complaining when you were all like Kurama. The giant beast chuckled at remembering how Naruto was always drunk off his power. That's because you were always like, why would you use Sage Mode when you have me, the strongest Biju, or were you not like that? Naruto remembers how he would get yelled at when he never used his power. That's because it's true, you didn't need it. It was only because when I got your power it was too late for me to learn from the ground up, and I would just steamroll everything. But now I can start from the bottom and become even stronger than I was in my prime. Naruto pumped his fist and was already going through plans in his mind. Fine, but you have a long way to go until you reach that level, plus you don't have those 6 paths amps anymore nor a link to All-Tailed Beast, which means, yeah I know, no more 5 elements and chakra or nature transformations for me. Man, I am going to miss all of that. Yeah, whatever, just change this place will you and go get some training done. Naruto then focused and changed the sewer into a luscious forest with a giant cave for him to go into. The seal then turned into a giant sun. That is much better. Kurama then stretched and walked around getting used to his new place. Alright buddy, I'll see you. Naruto then vanished from his mindscape and appeared back on his couch. Time barely passed, and he was glad for that. He could walk around the village and go to his training ground he found in his past life. He would need to get used to that whole past life thing. Putting on a white shirt with his clan symbol on his back, orange pants that went into high-ankle black ninja sandals, he walked outside and just looked around at everything. Man, this place is so undeveloped compared to how it used to be. I can use that to my advantage. By using some of the knowledge of the future I can make some of those things here. He thought of the advanced skills he could use. Alright, I will go to the training ground and see if I can perform some of my jutsu, and if not I will just need to work at it. I should also take this time to find a correct fighting style. I will send some clones to the library and have them grab a bunch of things. He then began to dash off in his 8-year-old body. He was in the streets walking and he just let out a sigh at all the glares he was getting again. I swear just yesterday, the girls were running up to me asking to sign their autographs. Ha, is the hero of war feeling sad? Kurama's mocking laughter could be heard. Naruto gained a tick mark on his head but he ignored it. He continued to walk until he found the place he was looking for. A wide clearing surrounded by miles of trees and a small waterfall that leads into a lake big enough to take a swim in. The sound of rushing water and small breeze of the wind brings back a memory of his past life. Flashback. 19-year-old Naruto was getting some extra training and while he waited for his girlfriend to show up. It was only midday and decided to train off the time. Hinata said there was some big news and he just had to hear it. Finishing up his last taijutsu katas he pops all of his clones gaining the memories of all he learned today. Alright. Another wind jutsu is in the bag. He pumped his fist. Naruto-kun. He looks to the direction he heard his name, and can see his Hinata running towards him with a bright smile on her face, and love full in her eyes. Love for him and he returns it with all his heart. He opened his arms for her, and she happily ran into his arms and gave him a big hug. Naruto-kun. It's amazing. Hinata spoke with her head resting on his shoulder. What is? He asked, rubbing her back lovingly like he always did. She mumbled something under her breath causing Naruto to not hear what she said. Hina, speak up. I said I am pregnant. She spoke too fast for him to understand. What? I said I am pregnant. Hinata yelled, lifting her head from his shoulder and smiling. Naruto was shocked to say the least. You are pregnant. A shake of the head from Hinata confirmed what he said. She was still giving him that bright smile. I am going to be a dad. Another shake of her head. I am going to be a mother. She squealed and hugged him tighter. Naruto wrapped his arms around her and spent her around making her giggle and smile. We are going to be parents. They laugh together. He stops and they then stare lovingly at each other and share a passion-filled kiss, pouring all of their love for each other in the kiss. Flashback over. He smiled at the sky. It was one of the best days of his life. He would cherish that until he died. Again. Now wasn't the time for that though. He shook his head in order to get ready for what he wanted. Alright, let's try this out. He put his hand out and much to his shock he formed a Rasengan. As soon as it appeared though it was gone. He fell to one knee and panted. Whoa, it seems that my body can't handle that right now. I really need to train my body. He gained his breath and then began to do regular body workouts. He ran, climbed, jumped, sit-ups, pull-ups, and did it all over again. Laid out on the ground he panted from the intense workout he put himself in. Man, I should put those seals on my body to make me grow faster. I will just need to run to the ninja shop and pick up the things I would need. That way I can draw some barrier seals and keep people from feeling Kurama's chakra. He held up a hand sign that was all too familiar to him. Shadow Clone Jutsu. 30 clones popped into existence. Okay, I want 2 of you to make your way into town and hit up the library and ninja shop. Be sure to transform so they will let you in. The rest come with me and train in our chakra control. He ordered the clones around, but they just looked at him confused and he looked back at them. Who are you? One of the clones asked until the clone grabbed its head and started to recall all the memories from Naruto's past life. What the hell? All the clones started seeing flashes of his life. They saw him battle pain, they saw Sasuke leave the village, they saw him add his wind nature chakra to the Rasengan, they saw the 10 tails, they saw him hold off Obito and Madara by himself, they saw the villagers respect him, and then they saw his death. Whoa. That was weird, a clone said. So you are from a different place. Forget that, did you see how strong we were? Did you see how our child was created? Some of the clones giggle at that memory. Just do what I said already, will you? He shouted to the clones who scrambled away to do their task. The rest of the day went on just like that. He trained his body and chakra. When his clones came back and popped, he was able to gain the memories of what they experienced. One of his clones picked up a scroll on taijutsu called Renewal Taekwondo. It specializes in strong linear kicks and punches. You must have good flexibility and a lean muscular build. Something he could do easily. His clone that went to the weapons shop was able to pick up some of the tools he needed for his sealing. Something he would be better at to honor his mother. He could also learn his father's famous jutsu, but he didn't want to do that. Because he was already faster than his father. The sun was now benign to set, and he was going to go home and come back out here tomorrow to train until he dropped. He popped his clone and learned he was able to get halfway up the tree today, along with only being able to take a few steps on the water. He practiced his new taijutsu style, and if he was being honest, it was awesome. He had to shape his body right, which meant he couldn't eat ramen every day like he used to. He walked back to the city and was making his way back to the ramen stand for dinner. Just because he couldn't eat it all the time didn't mean he would not get some when he could. Hello there guys, I'll take the usual. Naruto sat in his chair that had his name on it with a smile. Hey there my boy, how are you doing? Tucci gave the boy a smile. Hey there Naruto-kun. I am. The daughter of Tucci gave Naruto a hug that he returned. I just got done doing some training, and I just wanted to come and get some of the food I love. Well, you know we got you covered, I'll get right on it. I am said and walked to the back of the room. He sat there and had a good 15 bowls of ramen, and paid them in full price, putting smiles on their faces from the amount of money. He got up and made his way to his house, ignoring all the angry glares and curses he received. Some villager threw a bottle at him, but he caught it, and threw it back at the man, making it break on his face. Pick up your trash. That was all Naruto said and walked off. He was not going to be pushed around again. He continued walking until he felt something he knew all too well. This chakra. It's... He turned to the direction it was coming from, and he could see her. Hinata was coming out of her favorite bakery shop with cinnamon buns in a bag. He smiled and ran towards her. Hinata was having an overall good day. She had woken to the uncaring gaze of her father as usual. It still made her feel sad to see the way he looked at her. She did her morning training with some of her family. She talked with her little sister, who was still a little baby. Now she thought it was time to get her favorite treat, and maybe do some spying, or what she called it, protecting from a distance, and eat her cinnamon buns. I wish I could have protected Naruto-kun from a distance today, but I wasn't able to see him at all. Oh well, I will just have to wait until tomorrow to protect. She walked outside her store to go home until she heard her name being called. She looked back and her face went red. Naruto-kun! He is coming towards me. What do I do? Naruto wrapped the girl in a tight hug, not caring about anyone who may look at him for this. Hinata for her part was a mess. She was being hugged by her crush and people were looking. Her face was all red and she couldn't even begin to speak. Hinata-chan, I'm so glad to see you. He pulled back to give her a warm smile that made her blush even more. She thought she saw tears in his eyes. He is glad to see me. I am glad to see you as well. She was still in his arms and blushing. Hello and Naruto-kun. I am glad to see you as well. She began to play with her fingers and looked down. Naruto only smiled even more. He missed that about her. It was just so cute. Can I walk you home? He asked with a charming smile on his young face. Why yes. She replied, not looking up for a fear of passing out. Great. He grabbed her by the hand and pulled her along, already knowing where she lived thanks to being there so often. The people gave them weird gazes at the demon brat hanging with the Hyuga heiress. Hinata-chan, can I ask you something? Naruto looked at her with their hands still being held. Why yes. Would you like to train with me tomorrow? I have found this secret spot, and I will take you there to train with me. But you must keep it a secret, our little secret. He squeezed her hand a little bit tighter at the last part. Just me and you? Hinata asked, going red at what she was thinking. Yup, so what will it be? Of course I will train with you. She said with a small smile at being able to get closer to Naruto. Okay, great, I will come get you tomorrow morning, so be ready, okay? Make sure to wear clothes you can train in. We are going to be getting hot and heavy. He sent her a wink at the last part, and she almost fainted when she understood what he meant. Naruto only chuckled even more. They walked until they reached her compound and were stopped by the guards. They reluctantly let go of each other's hands, making them both feel sad at the loss of each other. Naruto pulled her in for another warm hug that she returned, this time with the blush still on her face. She had got a bit more comfortable over the time they were talking and walking. Okay, Hinata-chan, I will come to get you tomorrow. He broke the hug and gave her one last smile that she returned. Okay, Naruto-kun, good night. Naruto then ran off to the direction of his house with a smile on his face the whole time. So you finally got to speak with your mate, feeling better? Despite his teasing, Kurama was also very happy to see the lavender-eyed vixen again. Yeah, I am very happy to see her again. I will also help her out by making her super strong from the beginning. Since we know she has the purest eyes of her clan, she might even be able to unlock that Tensugen that fucker had. If she gets that, then only her and that stupid Uchiha will be able to rival your power. Ha ha ha, that would be good, wouldn't it? But I doubt Sasuke will get that strong again unless things really get out of hand like last time. But I will try to prevent things from getting that bad. He made it to his house and took a quick shower and put his night clothes on. The last chance. Those were his last words before he went to sleep in order to wake up for the next morning. Next day, Naruto can be seen in his bedroom in a cross-legged position, staying completely still. He had the thought to try and use Sage Mode. He was still able to feel his connection to nature chakra somehow. But because he wasn't a toad summoner, he didn't think that he would be able to use Sage Mode. He just said fuck it and sat down and focused on taking in the Sage chakra. However, things were different this time. He could feel it and see the difference. Taking the natural chakra into his body, his hair began to change white and grow longer while the tips became a golden color. His hair reached to the bottom of his neck. Under his eyes he gained what looked like golden runes, and they ran down his arm and ribs. Whoa! I can see it, I see the chakra in the air. The chakra looked like a bunch of blue stars dancing around his room. He looked at his arms touching the golden runes. It was smooth like skin. He looked out the window and saw all the chakra in the air. He could see green stars, and he guessed that was the natural chakra because there was a constant flow of it going into his body. Kurama, are you seeing this? I can see everything. He grabbed one of the chakra particles and it sunk into his hand, being absorbed into his chakra system. I am seeing everything, and I must say this is some Sage Mode you've picked up. You even look different and feel stronger. Wait, I look different. He quickly went to a mirror and saw his reflection looking back at him. He grabbed at his golden-tipped hair. He saw those once blue eyes, now lavender, much to his amusement because they matched his love's eyes. He formed a Rasengan in his hand and was amazed at the power and how fast it appeared. It appeared in less than a second, and he could control it so well he began to shrink and expand it, even shaping it to different shapes. Right when he was about to try and add a natural transformation to it, he fell to a knee out of breath, and all his features went back to normal, while his chakra system felt as if it was just hit 10 times by Tsunade. D-damn, it seems I can't handle that kind of power in this 8-year-old body. I will have to train some more and also get better chakra control, even though that form made everything much easier. It was as if I was touching the very foundation of chakra and could control it in its purest form. He got back up and splashed some water on his face. He went to put on clothes to pick up Hinata. Wearing a black shirt with a red Uzumaki swirl on the back, black pants with orange lines on his ankles, and black ninja sandals. Naruto, that form you just transformed into is really powerful. To be able to control chakra like it was nothing, and not to mention nature chakra as well, you need to keep it a secret and master the form. Kurama spoke very seriously, showing Naruto that the power he just used was no laughing matter. If you can master that, it will be better than the Toad Sage Mode by 100-fold. Naruto was wide-eyed at hearing all of this. Holy crap, it seems we really hit the jackpot on this one. Naruto spoke in between bites of his bacon and eggs. Yes, it was similar to what the Sage of Sixth Path could do. As you know, he didn't need to use hand signs or any jutsu, he only bent it to his will. I think it might be some lesser version of the Otsutsuki way of using chakra. That's amazing, but I won't call the Sage Mode sense. It seems to be connected with those fake gods. Then what shall you call it? Kurama was actually curious as to what he was going to call this, since it indeed was related to gods who he called fake. I shall call it Realm Heart. Hinata's room. Hinata was in the bathroom brushing her teeth and washing her face. She had eaten breakfast that some of the side branch members had made for her. She thanked them, of course. She went to her closet in order to get dressed for her training with Naruto. She put on what she normally wears when training inside. A fishnet shirt with a blue v-neck that stopped just past her elbows. Blue pants that stop above her ankles, and blue ninja sandals. She was going to put on her jacket but decided not to wear it since she would end up taking it off soon. She left her room to go see her father and tell him where she was going. Hinata made it to his door and knocked on it, waiting for him to let her in. She heard a Sly come in and walked into his room. Good morning, father, I have something to tell you. She bowed her head to her father and gave him a smile, but he showed nothing. Hello, Hinata, what is it you must tell me? He responded in his uncaring tone that he always used when speaking to her, though he was surprised to not hear her stutter once. I will be training with a friend of mine today, and he will be here to pick me up soon. Hinata did not stutter at all. She had practiced this last night to seem confident in herself so he would allow her to leave. Again, Hyuga was surprised. She didn't ask at all, she just told him, and she even had her chest puffed out. All while still smiling at him. She looked just like her mother. Okay, that is fine. I will see you later. Hinata smiled towards him and bowed again before leaving. Outside, Naruto walked up to the massive compound and looked at the guards, who looked back at him. They stared at each other for a while until Naruto broke the silence. Yo, what do you want? The guard on the left said. I am here to pick up Hinata-chan, so could you please go call her? He asked in a nice tone. Why would she hang out with someone like you, brat? The guard on the right said. You are the same guards from yesterday. I know you saw us together, don't play dumb. Naruto replied with a blank face. He was losing his short temper. Get lost, you brat. The guard tried to push him away but froze when Naruto released some of his killing intent and gave them a cold glare. It was so massive that everyone in the compound felt it, along with Hayashi, who left his room to go and see who that was. The guards were on the ground throwing up their lunch while Naruto was standing there gazing down at them with eyes as sharp as a new blade. The guards were shaking like a leaf and had fear evident in their eyes. He stopped when he saw the clan head and several Hyuga come outside with their Byakugan activated, but most of them just backed up when they saw Naruto, and he gave them all a dark look with his blue eyes seeming to glow. Hayashi was amazed that a boy the same age as his daughter was able to release so much ki. How many people has he killed to gain such a look? What has he been through? How can he release so much ki? Hayashi was going through a million questions in his head. He figured it was just the 9 tails, but he didn't feel any of its power being used. Naruto stopped releasing his ki when he noticed how they all seemed to be scared of him. Yo, is Hinata-chan ready or what? He asked with a wave, and the killing intent just vanished like it was never there to begin with. Yes, she should be on her way out soon. As soon as Hayashi finished saying that, Hinata came walking from the entrance, and he smiled when he saw her. Good morning, Hinata-chan. Naruto gave her a warm smile like he would always do, followed up by a kiss, but they are not there yet. Hello and Naruto-kun. She still blushed and played with her fingers. Alright, let's go train. He grabbed her hand and then began to walk off with Hinata in tow with a bright smile on her face. Hayashi saw this and wondered if that boy was the reason for her recent change and drive to do better. The two walked in the forest still hand in hand, enjoying the morning silence along with the sound of birds chirping and animals causing a ruckus. Hinata stopped to look at the bunny, and she just had to cuddle with it for a quick second. She blushed from embarrassment at Naruto seeing that. Hinata-chan, I didn't know you like bunnies so much. He said that, but he already knew that she loved bunnies. She liked them so much she had a giant picture of a bunny in her bedroom in his past life. Yes, they are just so beautiful and cuddly looking, she said with little hearts in her eyes. She then got a question for Naruto. Naruto-kun, what is your favorite animal? He could feel the gaze of Kurama from the seal daring him to say another answer. I like foxes the best, Naruto said with a grin towards Hinata. He could feel the stare from Kurama go away and swear he heard a "you better" from his mind. Hinata smiled back. For some reason, that seems perfect for you. Plus with those whiskers on your face you kind of look like a fox. Hinata giggled to herself while Naruto laughed. She has no idea. Naruto laughed with her, and they fell into a comfortable silence once again, their hands still tangled. Naruto wanted to take things a step further but was a bit afraid to be pushing things too fast, but he decided to go for it, and laced their fingers together, making Hinata blush, a deep red at the intimate action. She smiled a few seconds later, and was just happy that it seemed like Naruto was returning her feelings finally, so she would also try to take things further with him. They made it to the clearing they were training in yesterday, and finally let go of each other's hands. Okay, Hinata-chan, let's start with the normal warm-ups and stretches. He wanted to start her off strong because in their past life she was more flexible than most Hyuga and was able to create her own style that she taught to him. Okay, Naruto-kun. Hinata then began to stretch, and she indeed was flexible, able to bend at angles that would snap someone's bones if they couldn't move like she could. Naruto also stretched his muscles. He put his leg up on a tree and began to go down, stretching his calf and thighs. He also squatted low to the ground and went from side to side. Once they were done with that, they began to run laps around the field until they felt the burn in their legs, and even then they kept running. Naruto told them to go through hand signs while they run to help with muscle memory. They were on the last lap and Naruto was on his 499th lap while Hinata was on her 239th lap. She had tried to keep up with Naruto, but he was too fast and had too much stamina. They took a 20-minute break to catch their breath and drink some water. Once the break was over, they began to do body workouts that included push-ups with boulders on their back, squats with a giant tree trunk. Well, Naruto did, but Hinata wasn't able to, so he gave her a smaller one. They did pull-ups on the branch until it broke. Holy fuck, I can't feel my damn arms. Naruto wiggled his arms that looked like jelly. Hinata barely had the breath to laugh at him. It almost sounded like she was coughing. I think we should take a break, Hinata said, panting. Yeah, let's rest in the lake over here. I had some clones make a section for us so we can sit down and rest almost like an outside bathtub. Naruto walked over to the circular section of makeshift seats he made. He took his shirt and pants off and was left in his boxers and got in the water. Hinata was watching him get undressed with red cheeks, though. Was it from the sight of him blushing or how hot she felt? Both. She walked over to him and stood there nervously for a moment. Naruto looked at her weirdly for a moment. He then realized the problem. Hinata-chan, I can get out if you are not comfortable with me being in here half naked with you. Naruto climbed out and went on the other side with his back facing the other way. Hinata blushed because she was about to be half naked next to her crush. She took her clothes off, only staying in her underwear and fishnet shirt. She sat in the water, soaking her body in the warm water and letting out a sigh. She put her head back and was able to see the many clones of Naruto doing the tree walking and water walking exercise. She was amazed that he could make so many and still not be tired at all. They spent half an hour relaxing and talking with each other, just learning more about each other, but mainly Hinata. They had got out and dried off, putting their clothes back on. They then ran a couple more laps to get their blood pumping. When they finished, Naruto wanted to spar with Hinata, who was reluctant at first, but she soon gave in. Okay Hinata-chan, we both are learning our style of fighting, so this will be good for us both. Naruto got into the beginner stance of his Renval Taekwondo, while Hinata got into her gentle fist stance. Naruto however got a little ahead of himself and started to release some pressure that weighed down on Hinata. He was remembering his past sparring matches with her, and how they would always push him to do better. Hinata was shaken up a bit by the feeling until she released some of her own chakra to counteract his. They then charged at each other and collide in the middle with Naruto's fist, while Hinata had a palm out matching his fist. Naruto dropped low to do a spinning kick, but Hinata jumped over it, doing just what he wanted. Naruto delivered an upward kick to her chin, sending her into the air. This attack was called Back Rock. It was one of the basic attacks of the style he was able to learn. Hinata had flipped in midair in order to catch her balance before she crashed into the ground. She felt the stinging in her chin, and knew that would hurt in the morning. She charged back towards him with her palms blazing with chakra and her eyes focused on his chakra points. She aimed for his shoulder, but he dodged and delivered a spinning kick to her side. She used the spin to deliver 2 shots on his chest that made him skid back some. Naruto charged back towards her with a straight aim for her head, but because he still wasn't used to his younger body, he overshot, and was left wide open, which Hinata capitalized on by hitting him in the ribs. He winced in pain for a second until getting over it, and hitting her in her ribs, making her gasp. Hinata sent a barrage of gentle fist palm strikes, but Naruto was able to parry some while others connected due to mistakes he made from not knowing his body. Naruto also snuck some of his own attacks in her onslaught of attacks. Naruto had Hinata on the defensive right now, and he was using that to his advantage. Naruto delivered a flying knee strike that Hinata barely was able to put her hands up to block. This was another attack Naruto had learned from his new style called Baekdu. It was meant to open as a combo for other attacks, which he did. He delivered a body hook to her left lung and a kick to her right leg that made her drop, and Naruto delivered a jumping knee to her chin, snapping her head upwards. He finished the attack string off with a straight kick to her gut, knocking her to the ground. Naruto walked over towards the girl cautiously just in case she tried a last-ditch attack. Hinata however was on the ground in pain from the attacks Naruto gave her. It seemed he was not holding back and the pressure had only got heavier on her, and she swore she could see an older Naruto behind him doing the same attacks, making it feeling like she was hit twice. Naruto also saw an older version of Hinata fighting him back with raw determination and power that only she could dish out. Hinata got up shakily and got back into her stance ready for more. This made Naruto smile at her not giving up. She was fighting him with everything she had and he did the same. Hours later the two were on the ground, bloody and bruised up. Their clothes had dirt all over them. They both looked at each other and grinned towards each other. It seemed that Hinata had enjoyed her battle with Naruto. It was night time and they just laid down and watched the stars in the sky. Hinata-chan, I can't move. Me either, Naruto-kun. Well, I think we might have to sleep outside for the night. Are you okay with that? Naruto knew that some big animals might come and try to eat them for dinner. What if some monster comes to get us? I have heard about the wild beasts that often walk around at night. Hinata said all of this with worry and about to panic from all the monsters she was imagining coming to get her and Naruto. Don't worry, if they come I will protect us. Naruto pointed a thumb to his chest and grinned at the girl, who only smiled in return. My knight in shining armor. Hinata said a bit sarcastically, causing them both to laugh. I will set up a sleeping area for us. I have stuff packed for times like this. He unsealed some supplies and got to work on setting up their tent. He dispelled all of the clones and smiled when getting their memories. It seems he was able to master the tree climbing exercise to where he can now fight on the tree for 3 hours straight. He was able to walk on water, but he couldn't stay up and fight for 3 hours straight. Only 1 hour, and that was not good enough. He was able to finally cut that damn leaf thanks to already knowing what to do. He would go to the ninja shop tomorrow and get some scrolls on jutsu and also practice the hundreds of jutsu he had in his past life. He would also try to unlock the other chakra affinities so he could use all 5 like he used to. He hoped he got a second element this time so he could have a more variety of jutsu to work with from the jump. But if not, he would still train to use all of the affinities. Can't forget his new form called Realm Heart. He would have to train using that when Hinata was not around. Overall, things were coming along just great. Hey, you still didn't use my chakra yet, what gives? Are you kidding me? You know damn well my body won't be able to handle your power right now. The most I would be able to do is just 1 tail, and that is not good enough. So you are going to have to wait until I am at least 13 again. Are you forgetting that my chakra naturally flows into your system? You will be just fine using it in a short burst. Oh yeah, I did forget that fact. And you don't have all that hate in you, so I don't have to worry about losing myself to any of the hate. I don't normally brag, but I am really badass. Naruto had a smirk on the outside of his face, one that Hinata saw. Naruto-kun, what are you smirking about? Hinata wanted to know what he had running through his head. But she already had a guess as to what it might be. Oh, nothing, just thinking about how badass I am. She was right. Well, when you are done with that, can you hurry up? I am tired. She whined at the last part, making Naruto laugh. Okay, princess, your bedroom awaits you. Naruto opened the flap of the tent and bowed to her, causing her to giggle and play along. Thank you, good sir, now come on and rest. She waved her finger towards him. He went inside the tent without any hesitation. Naruto lay down on the blanket he set on the ground for them. He got comfortable and unsealed another blanket to cover them. "Good night, Hinata-chan," Naruto said, and then closed his eyes and was quickly asleep. "Good night, Naruto-kun." She also closed her eyes and went to sleep. Ch2. Naruto was just starting to wake up from his sleep and his back was starting to hurt from sleeping on the ground. He tried to get up but he saw Hinata sleeping soundly on his chest. She was even drooling a little bit. He chuckled at the cute sight in front of him. He was lucky he didn't go into puberty yet, or he would be dealing with morning wood. He was annoyed that he would have to deal with puberty once again. That meant getting boners at random times, getting hard while going to sleep. He tried to wiggle out of Hinata's grasp but he forgot how strong her grip was. He swore that sometimes she was as strong as Granny Tsunade. That made him think about his mother and everything but blood. He knew she was hurting right now and he wanted to help her like he did last time. But right now he had to help himself first. He would live his younger life to his liking, unlike last time where he couldn't do that. To shoulder everything and overcome it. That was how he lived and it's how he brought peace to the world, and he would be damned if he didn't do it again. But he needed power in order to do those things, and it all started from here. He would take this time to have a strong start, and hopefully get to a good enough level. In order to do that though he needed to get up and train, but someone was stopping him from doing that. "Hina-chan, it's time to get up," Naruto said, rubbing her hair affectionately, making the girl smile in her sleep and snuggle closer to him. "No, 5 more minutes." She spoke half asleep. "Hinata-chan, it's morning, and we have to get up. I don't wanna. Just go back to sleep. You leave me no choice, Hinata." He got ready to use the final trump card. "Free cinnamon buns outside," he said loud enough for her to hear. She got up immediately and had her Byakugan activated and was looking around for them. Where? She went outside to see nothing but animals looking at her like she was crazy. She then turned around and heard the sound of Naruto laughing and understood she was just pranked. She blushed in anger and charged back into the tent with Byakugan blazing. "So you think that was funny, Naruto-kun?" Hinata asked in a sweet tone, putting Naruto on edge because he knew that tone. Hey Hinata-chan, and no need to get upset." Naruto put his hands up while laying down. An aura of doom surrounded Hinata and she jumped on him, making Naruto yelp at her actions. She then put her hands up and got ready to deliver strikes to his gut. "You leave me with no choice," Hinata said, getting ready to attack. Well, looks like the shoe's on the other foot this time." Hinata then began to deliver a barrage of strikes to his gut, making him laugh because she was tickling him, and it was always his weak spot. Hinata was laughing along with Naruto. He then gave her a loving smile that made her blush because she was able to see all the love for her in those sky-blue eyes she loved so much. The love that she had wanted to see for years, and it was all for her. She then blushed even more when she saw the position they were in. Hinata was on top of him while Naruto had his hands on her hips. She squeaked and then jumped off of him with a mega red blush on her face. "Sorry, Naruto-kun." Hinata looked down and played with her fingers, making Naruto only smile at the girl. "Don't worry, Hinata-chan. How about I treat you to some breakfast as a sign of my apology?" He gave her a smile that made her smile back. "Is it cinnamon buns? I don't think that is good for breakfast. Neither is ramen." "Good point." They then took a quick dip in the lake and put clothes back on so they do not smell like grass and sweat while trying to enjoy their breakfast. Once they have clothes on, they walk out to the forest looking and smelling better. Naruto had left a couple of clones behind to continue his training. When they made it to the village, they began to get stares again. More like they all looked at Naruto, but he just ignored it and kept walking while Hinata wondered why they all looked at them with such anger. She was a bit scared and held his hand for comfort, making Naruto give her a glance and smile that made her feel better. He turned his head so she couldn't see the dark look on his face. He released some ki that made everyone in the area except for Hinata turn and go the other way with panicked faces. "How that got their asses moving. Maybe if you had done this last time you wouldn't have had to deal with all of them." His guardian angel spoke in an amused tone. "Yeah, but then they would only be afraid of me and I can't have that, so I won't do that all the time." Naruto responded back to his inner beast. He knew that if he only made them scared of him that would not work and he would end up like Gaara and his village. They came upon the bakery shop that Hinata loved so much, and she basically dragged him inside the store, making the storekeeper laugh. "Welcome back, Hinata-sama. Shall I get you the usual?" A kid who looked about 13 spoke from behind the counter. He had red hair that looked like a mix between purple. He had big yellow eyes with a black pupil, eyes filled with passion for cooking and making people happy. "Yes, Soma, I will take the usual," Hinata said with a smile. Soma then noticed the boy holding Hinata's hand and smirked. "Oh, you brought your boyfriend over?" He teased, making Hinata go red as a tomato. No, I was just bringing him over. He said he would buy it for me." Hinata was a mess. She had let go of Naruto's hand and began to poke her fingers, looking down from embarrassment. Naruto and Soma then laughed it off, making her pout cutely. "I'm Naruto Uzumaki. Nice to meet you." Naruto held his hand out for the boy to shake. "I'm Soma Yukihira. It's a pleasure." He shook Naruto's hand and they smiled towards each other. "I will go and get your order ready. It won't take long." He then walked off, leaving the two by themselves. "So you two look like close friends. How long have you known each other?" He was curious to know because this place was not here last time. "Yes, we are good friends." I used to come here with my mother, and we would always enjoy the food they made. Soma would always work here with his father, but he is gone on some trip, leaving Soma to run the place with others. Hinata then became a little sad at thinking about her mom, who had died not too long ago after giving birth to Hanabi. Naruto, seeing this, walked up and gave her a hug. I'm sorry for bringing up painful memories for you, Hinata-chan. Hinata was blushing a storm at the close proximity of her and Naruto. Ever since yesterday he had been acting strange. She was not complaining though, she enjoyed spending this time with Naruto, and she even got stronger. Soma walked back out to see Hinata in the arms of Naruto with a dreamy smile on her face. He saw this and pulled out a camera. Snap! A flash of light, and Naruto and Hinata turned to see Soma drying off a picture. He showed it to Hinata, who blushed and snatched the picture away before anyone could see. So he isn't your boyfriend? The smirking Soma asked teasingly. Hinata only took the food and left the restaurant, giving him the stink eye, making him laugh even more. Hinata-chan, what was the picture? Can I see it? He went to grab it, but Hinata moved it away from his hand. He tried to take it again, but she kept moving it away from his hand. Hinata then put the picture in her shirt and gave Naruto a smile. He only huffed and turned around, making Hinata giggle. Come on, Naruto-kun, let's eat, I am starving. Hinata then pulled some out and began to eat. Fine, but next time we are having ramen. They sat on a bench and began to eat in silence, just enjoying each other's company and the morning, until a male Umbu drops in front of them. Hyuga-sama, Uzumaki-sen, the Hokage wishes to speak with you. He put his hands on their shoulders and body flicker away to the Hokage office. Hokage office. When they appeared from the body flicker, the kids are a bit dizzy, but Naruto was able to shake it off pretty fast while Hinata stumbled a little bit. This was something the Hokage noticed and would keep for later. Umbu, you may leave. The Umbu bowed and left the same way he came in. So care to tell me where you kids were last night? He asked them, but his tone indicated it more as a demand and not a question. This made Hinata a little scared, and she hid behind Naruto, who stepped in front of her protectively, and he could have sworn he felt a little ki from Naruto, but it was gone too soon to know for sure. Naruto overall didn't really have the old man in high standard anymore once he got older. He knew why he did everything and respected his actions as a Hokage, but he was still not happy at how the old man handled things. He was also pretty pissed at how he basically told him to fuck off when he would ask about his parents. He was well aware of what would happen if his true heritage was leaked, but he did not have to wipe the Uzumaki clan from the library completely. He didn't have to make his birth records top secret. He didn't have to block him from doing a DNA sample. He would claim it was for his protection, but he knew it was more for the village and not him. We were out in the forest training late last night, and decided to just camp out. Naruto didn't see the need to lie to the man, so he told the truth, and Hinata would only give them away. The old Hokage raised an eyebrow at his answer. What kind of training, Naruto? He wondered if it was the same thing he would always see him doing. It's a secret. The short reply gave away nothing, but Naruto knew the old man would try to spy on him with that crystal ball, so he would have to place a seal on his body that didn't allow him to be spied on with the ball. Oh, is that so? Can I at least get a hint? Hiruzen was going to fish out as much as he could from Naruto. For some reason Naruto seemed different, and he had this aura around him that made him feel as if he was talking to a strong ninja that has seen many things. Just the basics, nothing too special. Naruto was not about to play this game with the old man, he had things to do. Hiruzen frowned at the boy. This was not going the way he thought they would. Not to mention the clan head of the Hyuga was breathing down his back, thinking his daughter was kidnapped again. The man had Hyuga searching for Hinata for the better part of the night. Well then, if you don't want to tell me, that's fine, I guess you are at that age. Hiruzen tried to guilt-trip Naruto into telling him by playing as an old man who just wants to stay young. Nobody was buying that. Hinata, your father would like to know that you are okay, so you should go see him. Hinata was about to walk away when she was pulled back. I'll walk you home, Hinata-chan. He grabbed her hand and began to walk out the door. See you, Hokage. Waving over his shoulder to the old man, who slightly waved back. Hiruzen eyed the red swirl on the back of his black shirt. He felt bad for hiding everything from the boy, but it was for the good of the village. Making their way outside the office hand in hand, Hinata was really enjoying all of the attention she was getting from her crush. Naruto-kun, I don't think we will be able to train with each other again today. She was a little sad at the revelation. Don't even worry about it, I figured this would be the case. I have other things to do today. Just make sure you train hard at your clan house. He gave her a smile that made her give her own. Oh, one more thing, don't let people push you around either. If someone wants problems, smack the shit out of them. Naruto spoke to the girl in a serious tone so she could understand. Hinata gasped at that. She never really enjoyed hurting people, but as a ninja she knew it was unavoidable. I don't think I will be slapping anyone nor using such foul language. I will kindly ask them to stop, and if they don't I will consider using your way of doing things. Hinata told him in a tone that meant she would not be talking about the situation anymore. Naruto only smiled at the Hinata-like answer. Fine, princess, but I expect you to not be letting those stuck-up assholes push you around, or I will have to come and beat up your whole clan and do it myself. Naruto also said in a tone similar to that of Hinata, making the girl giggle. They walked along the streets talking to each other and sharing laughs, overall just bonding with each other and getting to know the other better. They had made it to the compound with the same 2 gate guards from last time, however this time they only bowed and let the 2 inside, making Naruto smirk. They walked through the compound passing by other Hyuga who eyed Naruto with a suspicious gaze. They had ran into someone Naruto hadn't seen since the 4th Shinobi War, Neji Hyuga. Hinata-sama, your father would like to speak with you right away. He said her name with clear anger and tried to pull her away with extra force. Hinata slapped his hand away and gave him a slight glare remembering what Naruto had told her. Big brother Neji, I can walk there myself, so please do not try that again. She then walked away to her father's study leaving the 2 boys to themselves. Naruto chuckled at the shocked face of Neji making him turn to glare at the boy. What is a commoner like you doing in the house of the Hyuga? Neji said harshly, not in the mood to play games. I'll ignore that comment for now, but if you must know. I was walking Hinata-chan home. Well, she is here, you can leave now. Neji was about to push him away. Now I want to walk around this place. It is really big. Naruto said turning around and walking away leaving Neji to glare at his back and to walk after him. You cannot be here, you must leave this instant. He walked next to Naruto and tried to grab his shoulder but Naruto sidestepped and flicked him in the side of the head. Naruto then ran off, making Neji chase after him. Get back here! They then began to run all around the place causing quite the commotion. Naruto was all in the Hyuga kitchen, he even made himself some ramen and took some time to eat it until Neji busted down the door. Get out! Naruto then took his ramen and ran off still eating. He ran outside and transformed into a plant making Neji and all the other Hyuga run past him and yell useless curses. Naruto however just chuckled and transformed back and picked up his ramen and began to walk off humming a tune. He walked around until he found himself at a dojo and saw none other than Hanabi Hyuga in there training her little heart out. He silently made his way into the room and just watched her train and eat his ramen. Hanabi was going through stances for her gentle fist stance. She wanted to be just like her big sister, who was really good and always made time to spend with her even if she had a long day of training. Right when Hanabi was about to try and perform the 64 palms she stopped when she heard a slurping sound. She looked to the side and saw Naruto eating a bowl of ramen and just watching her. How long has he been there? She got out of her stance and just looked at Naruto who looked back. What are you doing here? Hanabi wanted to get this guy out of here so she could get back to training. Naruto only gazed back at her. He placed his empty bowl down and smiled at her. The last time I saw her it was without her eyes and she was calling me Ni-chan. Naruto just gave the girl a friendly smile. I was just walking around and happened to see Hinata-chan's younger sister. I just wanted to see you up close. You know Oni-sama. Hanabi was surprised that this boy knew her sister. Yes, we are great friends. Hanabi was now thinking who this guy was and no longer thinking about her training. Now why don't you get to training, little firecracker? He ruffled her hair making the girl glare and sweat his hand away. Don't call me a firecracker and don't ruffle my hair. Hanabi glared up to the taller blonde who was only laughing at the girl. Naruto only pinched her cheeks and pulled them making the girl groan and try to speak. Don't be taking that tone with me, my little firecracker. He ruffled her hair again. Neji then came through the dojo door with paint all over his face from a trap Naruto had set up. He glared at Naruto with anger and frustration. You! Neji charged ready to strike. He extended out his palm ready to strike Naruto in the chest. Naruto gently guided his arm to the ground making Neji fall to the ground and giving Naruto the chance to throw a pink paint bomb at his back. I'll see you some other time, firecracker. He then ran out the room having to escape the wrath of an angry Neji. Naruto was able to dodge all of the Hyuga and make his way back outside and began to finally do what he needed to have done. I need to buy some new equipment and get a custom-made mask to cover up my Sage mode. I will need to wear long sleeves to cover up all the runes and anything else that may appear with this new form. Speaking of that, I should probably train in it today. He made his way to the ninja shop that always sold the best gear. He made his way to the weapon shop called Golden Leaf. He walked in and a bell sounded over the door. He heard a girl's voice sound from behind the counter. He looked over and saw 2 brown buns moving under the counter. He smiled at knowing who that was. She popped her head from over the counter and smiled. Hello, how may I help you? She stopped when she saw the 8-year-old Naruto gazing at her. Hey kid, we don't sell toys here. She didn't get why people always came in here looking for toys. This was a ninja shop. Sai, I just came to buy some tools for my training and I wanted you to put in a custom order, but if you can't do that I will go somewhere else. Naruto was about to walk out the door until Tenten called out towards him. Wait, I'm sorry. I will help you out. Naruto stopped walking and turned around and gave her a smile. Great, and about that custom order, can we do that? Yes, we can, just tell me what you want and how you want it. Naruto then put a design of the type of mask he wanted on the counter. Tenten gazed at it with a raised eyebrow. It was a white mask with 2 orange vertical lines running down the 2 eye holes all the way down to the bottom of its jaw. The jaw was sharp and narrow, there were 2 rows of white human-like teeth. The mask Ichigo uses to fight Yami in Bleach. That's a scary mask you got there. We can have it done in 2 days, so be sure to come and get it. Now is there anything else you would need help with? Naruto walked around to grab what he needed and brought it to the counter. He placed empty sealing scrolls and tags along with kunai and shuriken. Tenten rang all that up and placed them in bags. Okay Naruto, I will have your special mask ready, so come back soon. Naruto smiled at the girl and walked to the door but paused and looked back at the girl. I never received your name, would you tell me please? Tenten rubbed the back of her head in embarrassment. Sorry, my name is Tenten. Nice to meet you. Okay Tenten, I will see you around. He left the store to go drop his things off and change clothes so he could train. Training ground. Naruto was doing some stretches ready to begin his training. He was wearing a black zipped-up high collar with an orange zipper, loose orange pants with black ninja sandals. The last outfit. He began to run 500 laps around the training ground and then did 500 push-ups, sit-ups, squats, and pull-ups. He practiced in his new fighting style by placing a water bottle on top of a wood post he made. He tried to kick the water bottle off the post without touching the post, or making the post move at all. He was finding it extremely difficult because he would end up missing if he kicked too slow or hit the post if he kicked too fast and still missed the bottle. After 1 hour and 30 minutes he was finally able to kick the bottle without any problems. Naruto then decided to make a shadow clone and enhance it with Kurama's chakra and begin to spar with it. He was able to fight with it for a little while, but it took all his years of fighting just in order to keep up with the clone. But experience wasn't enough to defeat his clone that was stronger than he was. Kurama wanted him to let the clone use one tail, but Naruto knew if the clone had used even one tail he wouldn't stand a chance. He also practiced more on his chakra control while also expanding his own reserves. He began to fight on top of the water in a shadow clone free for all, which made him have a little fun. He came out on top, but if he didn't that would be embarrassing. He practiced in perfecting his wind element, and found out he had a strong fire element. His flames became white and were an intense flame. Naruto had no idea where the flame element came from, but he was not complaining, and would make the most out of what he had. Once he found out about his new element, he began to practice with his fire manipulation, and tried to burn a leaf with just his chakra. He didn't know too many fire jutsu, so he would have to go back to the library if he wanted to learn more or just wait for Kakashi to train him in more, but he knew Kakashi was a Sasuke fanboy and wouldn't really teach him anything. That brought up another thing he had to do. Sasuke. He could tell him the truth while he was young, or just make him think for himself and come to his own conclusion. Naruto knew that Sasuke was in a delicate position right now, so he decided he would just reach out to him this time, and not just watch his back. Although he would have to deal with his attitude again, but decided he would beat it out of him. But first he needed to be strong enough to show Sasuke he could help him with gaining power. He would also help Sakura, but that would not be as easy. He got all of those thoughts off with some more training and sparring. He made another clone again and enhanced it once again, and this time he went all out. He released the seals he placed on his body, and also used his limited knowledge of jutsu he was able to perform safely. The training ground was filled with the sound of explosions and shockwaves. They fought on the water, trees, air, and on the ground. He spilled blood everywhere in that field. He was having fun while also growing strong. That was when an idea came into his head. Rock Lee. He would go find Lee and train with him. Naruto knew firsthand how good Lee was. His fight in the Chunin exams was one of his favorite fights to have seen, but he needed to practice in using Kurama's chakra first so he could be able to match the gates he knew Lee would use. Plus Kurama was nagging him about it as well. Naruto also had a clone working on Realm Heart, and the clone was able to walk around and do a little sparring before dispelling, leaving him with the knowledge. We can find Naruto with his shirt off in a half-lotus position in deep concentration. He was trying to gain access to Realm Heart. A few seconds later and there it was, he had transformed. Standing up he did a couple practice moves and noticed that he had a significant buff. His speed and power had been enhanced tremendously. It feels good, I can feel the increase. He performed the Rasengan, and unlike last time he was able to use his wind chakra and create the Rasen Shuriken. He was even able to throw it, which made him and Kurama go wide-eyed at the ease all of that was able to be done. Holy shit, it worked. When Naruto had through the attack, the whole section of the forest was blown up, and only left a massive crater in the center. Well, I'll be damned, you did it. Kurama was also greatly surprised by the transformation. He wondered if Naruto was the only one who could learn this kind of sage mode, or did it have something to do with his DNA, or was he impacting the transformation in some way. Naruto had created a seamless shadow clone and made it use some of Kurama's chakra. He wanted to test the difference at full power. The clone's eyes turned red and slitted along with its nails that had grown sharper. The whisker marks had grown thicker. Once he was finished, they charged at each other with tremendous speed and clashed in the middle, causing a massive shockwave that caused wind to pick up. Naruto spun around on his feet and delivered a kick to the back of the clone head. He backflipped to gain some distance. Naruto then coated his hand in lightning, making him go wide-eyed. Can I use all of the elements? He quickly formed the Chidori, making him smirk at finally being able to use this. He charged the clone and hit it right in the shoulder, making him laugh at the turn of events. The clone puffed in smoke, leaving him to think to himself, if I can use all the elements when in this form, then the options are limitless. Naruto grabbed his last chakra paper and began to channel chakra. The paper split into a bunch of little pieces that all turned to water. Some pieces caught fire while the others crumbled to dust. Holy shit! The grin that spread on both Naruto and Kurama's faces would cause anyone who saw it to shake in fear. They then began to laugh like madmen who had just discovered something new, which they did. The form then ran out, making Naruto fall to one knee instead of both knees, this time showing the progress. Okay, still have some work to do, but it ain't nothing I can't handle. He then took all his clothes off and got in the warm water to soak off. He decided once he got out he would go find Lee and fight him, and as he would say, bathed in the flames of youth, he got out and put his clothes back on and left his clones in the field. While he left, he was glad he put up a barrier, or he would have been in a real problem. He placed the resistance seals back on his body and left the training ground. Naruto was jogging around the village looking for Lee and his adoptive father. Naruto had an ear to the streets trying to see if he could hear them or the complaints everyone had about them. He then saw two green blurs and could see none other than Lee and Guy. They were doing their laps around the village, it seemed. Naruto ran up next to them and smiled towards the two. Hello guys, care if I join you? The two were shocked that someone wanted to run with them. They were always getting turned down. Lee and Guy looked towards each other and began to smile. Of course you can, my youthful friend. Let us bathe in youth together. They then ran around the village 300 times and Naruto was surprised that the two were not even tired. It was as if they could keep going. They had made it to a training field and Naruto wanted to get right to it. Lee, would you spar with me? Lee got stars in his eyes. Of course, it would be my pleasure to spar with you. They then walked into the middle of the field and Guy would be the ref for this youthful match. They both got into their stances and Guy did a double take at the stance he saw Naruto enter. He was a bit nervous because he knew of that stance and what it was capable of. Guy had heard of the rumors for the stance, and he knew the power of it. That was the strongest martial arts style known to man, and if Naruto had managed to master it, have mercy on his enemies. Are you ready? Guy held his hand up. Go! He drew his hand down, and the two charged each other, leaving clouds of dust where they once stood. Naruto had his knees bent ready to jump off at any moment. He had his left arm sitting on his waist ready to strike out any second, while his right arm was stretched out, giving him balance and the distance of his opponent. Lee had his legs apart, and was squatted down a bit. His right arm was extended in a come here gesture while his other arm was behind his back. Guy was looking at them both with critical eyes. He could tell this spar would not be a regular spar but something to really showcase the talent of their skill. However, he could not help but worry at the look in Naruto's eyes. He can see how he holds himself, and it is similar to that of a Kage with years of experience and multiple wins under his belt. Begin! He swung his hand down as the signal to start the fight. The two waste no time and charge each other right off the back and meet in the middle, causing a shockwave to go through the training ground. Naruto has his left leg out meeting the right leg of Rock Lee. They smirk and flip back only to charge back towards each other. Leaf whirlwind. Lee swings his leg in a circular motion multiple times in an attempt to connect with his opponent. Naruto, however, was expecting this, and jumped over Lee and delivered a kick to his back, causing him to be sent tumbling across the ground. Lee does a kick up and gets back into his stance with a smile on his face. This was going to be a great workout. Renewal Taekwondo spinning kick. Naruto does a spinning kick and massive tornado forms and connects with Lee, who is not only struck with the multiple attack from Naruto but he is also being spun around and is getting a little dizzy. Lee is thrown out the attack when Naruto delivered a punch that rocked his jaw and sent him back first into a tree, making him cough up some spit and a little blood. Lee isn't down for long though, as he climbs back to his feet and stands on shaky legs. I am not done. Lee rushes Naruto, who meets him, and they begin a fierce battle of taijutsu. For each attack Lee throws, Naruto would counter and receive an attack from Naruto that was 2 times harder. Lee threw a barrage of punches that were all aimed to knock Naruto on his ass. Take things slow, you are not who you used to be. Naruto sees the attacks coming and perfectly dodges all the attacks in a manner that would leave all the Hyuga jealous. He ducks, weaves and spins out of Lee's attack range. Rock Lee couldn't believe what he was seeing. Naruto was easily dodging all his attacks and hitting him with enough force to leave a mark. He wasn't going all out, but he was doing enough to where Genin would be pressed to dodge, but he moves as if he has been fighting his whole life. Guy was in a similar boat. He could see the way Naruto would move. He moved with confidence in his attacks while also keeping up his defense in a way that made it hard to land a decisive blow on Naruto to keep him down. Guy would also see the simple mistakes Naruto would make, like missteps or overextending, which would lead to Lee getting major hits on Naruto. He figured he would let Lee drop the resistance and fight with a little more power. Naruto was currently pressing Lee with an onslaught of attacks that he could barely put up a guard against. However, Lee saw Naruto's leg hesitate for a moment, and he used that moment to counterattack. Lee quickly did a sweep kick, knocking Naruto on his back, but he quickly rolled, avoiding the multiple stomps he would have received from Lee. Naruto did a spinnerini and caught Lee with the unexpected move, which gained him some breathing room. Guy took this chance to speak up and help his student. Lee, take them off. Lee was surprised but also happy because he was enjoying where this spar was going and wondered if he could use his secret technique. Without further ado, he reached into his orange leg warmers and pulled off the weights, and tossed them to the side, causing a massive explosion on the sideline. He was expecting Naruto to be surprised, but he only got a smile in return. Naruto knew what was coming and he wanted this. It was a good chance to test himself while also getting stronger at the same time. He removed his black jacket, and also removed the resistance seals he placed on himself. Guy saw what Naruto did, and was surprised once again at the show the kid was putting on. What's next? He uses some of the Nine Tails chakra. If things went that far, Guy would step in and force them to stop before they got swarmed by leaf ninjas. Naruto and Lee were having an intense stare-off, just eyeing each other to see who would make the first move. A single leaf floated down, signifying the second round would begin soon. As soon as it touched the ground, they both dashed off at high speeds. Dynamic entry. Goryo! Lee's attack connected with Naruto right into the gut, making him gasp, while Naruto's two quick kicks connected with Lee's head, snapping his head back. The two are sent back crashing into trees, causing a smoke cloud to pop up and shockwaves to vibrate through the training ground. They get up quickly with matching grins on their faces at having someone who could push them to their limits. Lee delivers a jaw-shattering punch to Naruto, whose head is snapped back, but he brings it back down with a headbutt to Lee. Naruto then gives Lee an open palm thrust to the gut, making him gasp for his breath. Naruto goes for a renewal front kick, however Lee sidestepped and delivered his own attack. Leaf Rising Wind. Lee crouches really low to the ground and delivers an upward kick to Naruto's chin, sending him into the air. Lee follows the attack up by jumping into the air. Leaf Drop. Lee delivers a dropping axe kick to Naruto's gut, sending him crashing into the ground with a boom and a cry of pain. Lee drops down to the ground outside of the crater Naruto formed. He was in his stance with a confident smile on his face. That should have done it. Lee was confident in his recent attack. He practiced that attack for hours on end, and he even had the scars to prove it. In the crater, Naruto was just laying there in pain, but he still had a grin on his face. Man, Lee is as strong as ever. He is really kicking my butt. I hit him, and he just comes back and does this brain-rattling attack. Naruto gets up to a knee in order to catch his breath some more. Just use my power. He won't be able to handle that. Kurama knew Naruto was giving his all in this fight, but it still wasn't enough to beat the bushy-brow kid. I can't. If I use your power, everyone will get suspicious about me, and we can't have that right now. I just have to beat him with my own skill. He considered using Rauheart but cancelled that idea because it would be just as bad as using Kurama's powers. He jumped out the crater, letting Lee and Guy see the state his body was in. Naruto's white shirt had been destroyed, leaving him in only his heavily damaged orange pants and dirty black ninja sandals. He had cuts and dirt all over his body and blood stains from him and Lee's fierce battle. Lee was not looking any better. His green jumpsuit had several cuts and blood stains mixed in with it, giving the jumpsuit a dirty green color. He had blood coming from his busted lip, just like Naruto, who had a nasty cut over his left eyebrow that was slowly healing. Lee and Guy were amazed that Naruto could still get up after an attack like that, but Lee simply smiled and got back into his stance. Naruto got ready to launch an attack he had learned. Twin Blue Dragon Kick. As Naruto stated, he swung his legs and two sky blue dragons with red eyes materialized and charged the wide-eyed Lee, who had to run and try to avoid the attacks. But he just couldn't shake them, so he decided to face them head-on. Leaf Whirlwind. Guy widened his eyes at what his student was about to do. Lee, don't. It was too late as the two dragons collided with him, causing a giant explosion. Guy had to shield his face from the force of the attack because it was pushing him back. He knew Lee wouldn't be able to just get up and walk that attack off if the explosion was anything to go by. Indeed, Lee had taken the full force of the attack head-on, and was laying face first in a crater with the top half of his jumpsuit destroyed. It looked like he was dead, however the slight movement of his legs indicated that he was indeed alive and slowly making his way to his feet. I didn't use too much power, did I? You didn't use enough. You know what's coming next, don't you? I do. I can take him, if you say so. Kurama was not so sure if he could though. Naruto knew firsthand how strong those gates were, and he was going to be on the receiving end of the attack. Guy was getting ready to jump in and stop the fight, but he saw Lee getting to his feet, and was again surprised at how strong these kids are. Their flames are an inferno. He would have to train some more if he wanted to match their flames. His attention was turned to Lee when he heard the boy speak up. Naruto-kun, your flames are truly burning, however the leaf's lotus blooms twice. First gate, gate of opening. Release. Lee is surrounded by green chakra that explodes off his body, causing debris to blow all over the place. He turns his gaze towards Naruto and disappears in a green blur, and connects with Naruto, who is sent back crashing through trees and rubble. Naruto gets up and tries to block, but Lee is too fast and strong for him to counter effectively. He sees Lee coming with a haymaker ready to knock his lights out. Don't lose focus, stay with him, keep a cool head. Naruto promptly dodges and gives Lee a powerful kick to the gut, sending him into the air, making the boy's eyes widen from surprise or pain. Naruto jumps up to the boy and they begin to fight in the air as if they were currently not falling. Lee throws a punch to Naruto's face, but he slips his arm under Lee's and puts his leg behind his ankle and gave him multiple punches to the gut, making the boy cough up blood on Naruto's face. Nigawa kick. Naruto delivers a backflip kick to Lee and uses his body to jump off him, while also sending Lee into the ground, causing another shockwave to be sent throughout the field. Guy again couldn't believe what he was seeing from just the two kids. Naruto was only 8 and fighting his student who was only 9 years old. If these two keep up their training, they would be unstoppable once they became older, and he would be the one to fuel them like his dad did with him. Lee slowly got up from the crater and walked out the smoke, still ready for more. You can do more, can't you, Naruto-kun? Lee looked up, see Naruto falling down with a grin and his leg cocked back for his next attack. Just see if you can handle this. Twin Dragon. Lee finds himself facing the same attack as last time and grins. It won't get me this time. Leaf Hurricane. Hurricane winds form a giant tornado that swallows up Naruto's twin dragon. Lee takes this to his advantage and flashes above the falling Naruto, and delivers a strong attack to his ribs hard enough to break some, and he even heard a crack. Naruto spits out some blood that gets on Lee, but Naruto soon finds himself being sent down into their combined attacks, making Guy go wide-eyed. He tries to go and catch him, but he isn't fast enough and the attack blows up, pushing him and Lee back from the force of the attack. The following explosion was so big it could be felt all the way in the village, and Hiruzen can see the attack from his office, and he calls some of his umbu, and they all go to see the cause of it. The area where the attack blew up was only a smoking crater and left only blown over trees and destroyed grass. Lee drops to the ground with wide eyes and a horrified face at what he just did along with Guy. They rush over to the crater to check if Naruto was okay. They can see Naruto back first with smoke coming off his body and blood covering his form. Guy drops down and picks the boy up, and that's when the Hokage and a squad of umbu appear and look around in surprise at what is going on. Guy, what the hell happened? He walked up with wide eyes at all the damage to the training area. He then saw the state Lee and Naruto was in and wondered if he had used some of the Nine Tails power, but everyone would have felt that power being used once again. These two were sparring and it got out of hand. I will take Naruto and Lee to the hospital and get them checked out. Guy was about to leave until Hiruzen stopped him. When you are done, come to my office and explain what happened. Guy nodded and left in a burst of speed to the hospital. Naruto was in his bed with bandages wrapped all over his body, and he was slowly waking up. Rock Lee was in a bed next to him in the same condition. Lee, was it worth it? I don't know, I can't even get up to use the restroom. Yeah, that dragon did hit you in the pelvis. That was very unyouthful. Naruto chuckled but stopped when it started to hurt. It wasn't my fault, you should have worn a cup in that damn jumpsuit of yours. Lee turned to him with a glare. You still shouldn't have aimed for my jewels. Sorry about that. They stop talking when they hear the doors slide open and the Hokage, Guy, and Hinata walk in the room. Both men are pushed out of the way when Hinata sees Naruto is awake. Naruto-kun. Hinata runs up to Naruto with tears in her eyes and worry written all over her face. Naruto-kun, are you feeling any better? She grips his hand tightly, giving herself comfort and confidence. Naruto only gives the girl a loving smile that makes her cheeks go a bit red. I am doing much better now that you are here, princess. The words cause the girl to blush brightly and Naruto chuckles, making her pout a bit. You wouldn't happen to have any of the magical cream, would you? He asked her in a joking tone. Hinata smiles at the question. Yes, I have some, and I told you it's called healing ointment. Hinata reaches into the orange vest she is wearing and pulls out the ointment. Just tell me where it hurts, and I will rub it in for you. She gives him a bright smile, holding the glowing medicine that seems to have a chorus singing behind it. Naruto smiles at the girl and rips apart the hospital gown, showing his developing muscled chest and healing body, making Hinata eep and turn her head from embarrassment. Just put it on my ribs. Lee hit me pretty good there. He grins at the red-faced girl who has a bit of steam coming from her ears. Oh, okay. She puts some of the ointment on her fingers and reaches out to rub it in. She rubs it on his stomach and turns as red as a tomato, making Naruto laugh at the girl. Stop laughing. Why you are moving too much. She got a little more comfortable at what she was doing and began to rub in the medicine more effectively, but still had a blush on her face. The other occupants of the room are watching with amused faces at the young future couple who is off in their own little world. Hiruzen was going to interrupt them because he had questions and needed answers. He cleared his throat, gaining the two's attention, making Hinata remember where she was and who was looking. She turned red and fainted, but Naruto caught her and pulled her into his bed and laid next to her. How can I help you, Hokage? Hiruzen notices the way Naruto says his title with little to no respect, but knows Naruto has always been that way. I would like to ask the both of you what happened during your spar, adding extra emphasis on the word spar considering they destroyed the training ground, making Naruto and Lee look at each other in surprise. Well, we were giving it everything we had, right, Lee? Naruto smiles at the bowl-cut hair boy. Indeed, I would not disrespect you and hold out on you like that, Naruto-kun. I gave it my all. Lee proclaimed with fire in his eyes, making Guy cry anime tears. That's right, Lee, you gave him your all, and that's what really matters. They then hugged, making the others in the room sweat drop. Hiruzen coughed again to regain control of the situation. That is good and all, but where did you learn to fight like that? I am aware of who is teaching Lee, but I don't remember anyone teaching you, Naruto. Hiruzen turned an accusing and penetrating gaze towards Naruto, who only gave him a glare of his own. Naruto already knew what he was trying to get at, and in a way Kurama was teaching him, but did it really count if he was only relearning what he already knew? What are you getting at? Are you saying I am being taught by someone or something? The last word makes the two adults widen their eyes before Hiruzen narrows his eyes at Naruto. Naruto, where did you learn those moves? He asked in a stern tone and was hoping Naruto would not say what he thought he would, or drastic measures would have to be put into place. Naruto stared at the man intensely, thinking over his choices. I learned it from a scroll of taijutsu while I told you that I have been training very hard. It seems that my efforts are showing results. Naruto told them part of the truth while also giving very little away. Hiruzen eyes the boy a little longer until he turns away and smokes on his pipe he took out. Nobody is teaching you. He gained a nod from Naruto. You got this strong all on your own. Another nod from the boy. Okay, just let me know if you feel weird or anything like that. Recover safely. He walks out to the hallway. Cat. Hiruzen calls out to nobody, but suddenly an a female with purple hair, appears in a kneeling position. Yes, Hokage-sama. I want you to keep a close eye on Naruto Uzumaki. Report to me if he does any strange activity. Hiruzen walked off once he gave the orders. There was paperwork he had to fill out. Back in the room, Guy was talking to Lee. Lee, when you are fully healed we will increase your training. Lee only gave him a bright smile with a thumbs up. Naruto chose this chance to accomplish what he wanted. Is it okay if I train with you guys from time to time as well? Naruto really wanted them to say yes, that's why he went all out against Lee. To prove not only to himself but to Guy as well that he can fight. They both smile at Naruto, making him think they would accept him. You are welcome to join us anytime, but just know Lee will be graduating from the academy in 4 years to become a real ninja. The man finished with a nice guy pose. Naruto smiled gratefully at both of them. Thank you, I won't disappoint, and I will also be joining the academy in a few days. With the skills you showed today, your youthful career will without a doubt in my mind, that you will go far. Giving him another nice guy pose, he left the room, leaving a passed out Hinata dozing off Lee and an almost fully healed Naruto. I should get some rest as well. When I wake up I should be fully healed. He closed his eyes to go to sleep, but instead found himself in the forest watching Kurama take a bath. Why did you bring me in here? And how the hell did you get bubbles in there? Kurama laughed at Naruto before giving him an answer. There isn't nothing the great nine-tailed fox can't do. All I must do is put my mind to it, and whatever I wish shall happen. Naruto only sweat dropped at the answer he received. Okay, but why did you bring me here? I was about to go to sleep with Hinata-chan. I called you here so you can practice my power. He saw Naruto about to say something but put a tail up to silence him. I won't be taking no for an answer. We are in your mind so no one will be able to notice that you are training. But I am sure you noticed that one Umbu is here to watch you, so we have to be careful for now on. Kurama told Naruto, seriously, gaining a nod from the boy. Yeah, I felt them, but I can shake them once we get out. Or you could just scare them off. Kurama gave him a grin that promised someone would be in danger. Let me guess, you want me to use some of your chakra and mix it in with both of our Ki. Naruto spoke sarcastically. Ding ding ding, we have a winner. If I do that it will only make her report to the Hokage that she felt your chakra, only making him more suspicious about me. Naruto had to speak as if he was speaking to a child, causing Kurama to gain a tick mark. A tail from Kurama launched out and grabbed Naruto and slammed him into the water, causing the fox to laugh. When you are done washing off, come over and use my chakra. Kurama walked off laughing. Stupid fox. Naruto rose up from the water. First day of the academy. The days had gone by the same as normal for Naruto. He would wake up and go grab Hinata, have breakfast with her, shake the Umbu off with a couple shadow clones, go to the secret training ground and practice until he dropped along with Hinata, who had become less shy over the days and also become stronger. He had brought her with him once to watch him spar with Lee, and she was amazed at how strong the boys were. Once she had seen them fight, she had felt inadequate about her own taijutsu, so she trained harder, and was able to join them in their spars, often leading to a three-way free-for-all, or all of them facing off against Guy, who had to take them somewhat seriously. When he was sleeping he would practice using Kurama's chakra or practice the jutsu he learned from the shadow clones. He had almost mastered his wind nature chakra, but he put it to a halt when he remembered he still had to practice with his fire chakra nature. He had mastered the basic exercise for fire, and was on the second one, which was to make a bucket of water boil, but he wanted to make the whole lake boil so he and Hinata could have some hot water and hopefully make a hot spring. He had also made Hinata find out about her chakra nature, and was not surprised when he found out she had a water nature chakra. She was a bit sad to not have two like he did, but he had informed her that over time you might gain another one. That had made her feel a little better, and she felt so good she gave him a kiss on his cheek, making her blush intensely while he only chuckled. He had went to go pick up his mask from Tenten, and could only smile at how it turned out. The material was really thick and kind of felt like bones to him, but he really didn't care as long as it hit his face and made him look scary. He kept the mask on him at all time by placing it in a ceiling array on his face, so he could put his hand over his face and make it look like his face was transforming. He had picked out an outfit for the mask and everything. It looked like his KCM too, but it was in all black, and he had an orange Haori with black flames similar to his Toad Sage Mode's Haori. Naruto was now waking up in his bed and was getting dressed in the outfit he wore after the war, which Hinata had made him wear since she said it looked better than the jumpsuits he had been wearing. He made his way to the Hyuga compound by the rooftops in order to make it there faster, and ignore the civilians that cursed him out. He landed at the gates, and the two guards had bowed to him and called him Naruto-sama. He had made himself an honorary member of their clan by all the times he had been to the place, and would just walk in like he owned everything. Some Hyuga would try to stop him, but he would stop that with a quick glance and some Ki. He walked around the compound, making his way towards Hinata's room, and knocked on the door. He heard her come in and saw Hinata making her bed. He got a mischievous grin and jumped on her bed, messing it all up again. Hinata gained a tick mark on her head because she worked really hard on making her bed look nice and clean, but her blonde idiot just had to come and mess the bed up. Good morning, Hinata-chan. He gave her a smile of amusement, knowing all too well how Hinata felt about making her bed perfect. Good morning, Naruto-kun. I see you are feeling pretty good this morning. Her smile was forced, and he could see that. Yeah, and it is better now that I can see you. Flattery will get you nowhere. Now make my bed and I want it perfect. She walked out the room with a huff and slight blush on her cheeks. She is something else. He got up and made the bed to perfection because it was not the first time she made him make their bed. He didn't understand why he had to make it if they would just mess it up again. He giggled perversely at remembering how they would indeed mess the sheets up. He walked out her room and made his way to the garden where she would most likely be with her sister before she left for school. He saw her with Hanabi on her lap talking to the girl about nothing in particular. Naruto for a moment saw a more grown Hinata sitting there, and instead of Hanabi he saw their child. But he shook those thoughts off before he started to let out the waterworks. He only walked over and smiled at the sisters. Hello girls. Hanabi turned to the voice with a smile forming on her face at her new big brother. She saw him and got up off Hinata's lap and jumped for him. Good morning, big brother. She had become very close to Naruto over the week. He would treat her like a child and not some princess like the rest of the clan would, and she really likes that about him. Hello Nabi, you come to see us off? He spun her around, making her laugh for a bit. Yes, and Big Sis was talking about how much of an idiot you were. She pointed her thumb at Hinata, who crossed her arms and turned, not facing them. Well, she can't stay mad at me forever. Yes, I can. Someone woke up on the wrong side of the bed today. Hinata slowly turned her head and gave Naruto a sweet smile. Naruto-kun, don't sit by me in class today. But Hinata-chan, you said I could and that you would share your lunch with me. Well, I've changed my mind, let's go. She walked off and took Hanabi from his arms, who was just laughing at the whole thing. They walked to the school and Naruto had a look of reminiscence on his face. He shook it off before walking inside the school with Hinata. They had made it to the classroom, and she told him once again not to sit by her. He chose this chance to speak to Sasuke, who was in the corner being an emo and getting all the girls. He walked over and sat next to him, getting a raised eyebrow from the boy. My name is Naruto Uzumaki. It's nice to meet you. He held his hand out for Sasuke to shake. Sasuke Uchiha? That was all he got. Naruto, however, was not having it, and grabbed Sasuke's hand and forced him to shake his hand, making the boy irritated at having his private space invaded. Don't do that. Do what, this? Naruto grabbed his hand again and shook his hand, making Sasuke give him a slight glare. Stop invading my personal space, loser. Naruto flicked him in the forehead for that comment. It's not nice to insult people like that. Naruto spoke in a tone like he was admonishing a child for getting in trouble. Don't flick me. Let's be friends. No. Yes. No. No. Yes. Great, I will come over to your place sometime, and we can train. Naruto put an arm around Sasuke's shoulder, making the boy get a tick mark. Get off me, and we are not friends. Naruto only smiled at how this was going. It brought back memories. They are both interrupted when a girl's voice meets their ears. Move so I can sit next to Sasuke-kun. Naruto got a smile on his face. He looked up at the pink hair and green eyes of Sakura Haruno. He gave the girl a warm smile that made her blush a little bit at how handsome he looked. Hello, may I get your name? He asked with that same smile. My name is Sakura. She squirmed a bit from embarrassment. Naruto merely smiled at his old friend. He remembered the last time he talked to her. Past life. Naruto was out late eating his favorite food with his longtime friends Sakura and Hinata. They had spotted him out in the streets walking, and Sakura thought it would be a good time for Hinata to speak with Naruto. That didn't work. She was a shy mess and Naruto was just too dense to know when someone was head over heels for him. He paid more attention to his food than the girl who was making a gift for him. So what were you two doing out so late? Naruto asked, slurping up some of his ramen and getting a bonk on his head from Sakura for his bad table manners. We were having a girlfriend's night out. Is that such a bad thing? With Sasuke always gone, I get lonely sometimes. Naruto gave her a look that made her put her head down. Why the hell don't you just make him come back? Maybe if you weren't such a wet puppy every time it came to Sasuke he would actually listen to you. Sakura got angry at hearing the truth come from Naruto's mouth of all people. He was right though, she was the strongest kunoichi in the world and has faced many tasks. But when it came to Sasuke she was just helpless and did anything he said. Shut up. She tried to hit him again but he ducked and only gave her a foxy smile. Seems I am right again, Sakura-chan. She gained a tick mark and got up from her seat and left before she caused mass damage. Not before sending Naruto a mean glare that promised pain later. This left Naruto and Hinata alone at the stand. So, want to come back to my place and watch the new Princess Gale movie? I am in it. He heard a thud and saw the red face of Hinata on the counter. Present. He only chuckled to himself at the memory and looked back at Sakura. So you want to sit next to Sasuke? She gave a shy nod, making Sasuke tense up. Naruto gave Sasuke a smirk, making the boy's eyes widen. Okay. He then got up and made room for Sakura, who took the seat immediately, and gave Sasuke a bright smile. Sasuke-kun, would you go on a date with me? Sakura had a bright smile on her face, and Sasuke let out a small sigh of defeat. For the last time. No. Sakura put her head down in sadness but quickly wiped it away. No worries, maybe some other time. Naruto chuckled to himself at pranking his friends. He then noticed he needed a seat and saw there was an open seat next to Hinata, who gave him a look saying don't you dare. He only smiled and walked up to her, but before he could sit someone got in his way. Hey there hot thing, why don't you go on a date with a real alpha like me? A cocky voice sounded in his ears, one he knew all too well. He saw Kiba sitting next to Hinata and put an arm around her shoulder, making the girl uncomfortable. You not go let him try and take claim on your mate, are you? The voice of Kurama came from his head. No. Well, put the foolish mutt in his place. Right. Naruto's eyes become a slitted blue and he grabbed Kiba by the back of the neck and pulled the boy out of the seat. Hey, what the hell? Kiba tried to grab Naruto, but he wasn't able to grab him. Naruto dropped him to the ground and released some of his ki on the boy, freezing him in place. Don't come near my Hinata again. Hinata shivered at what Naruto said. She liked this side of him. She was his and he was hers. Kiba was on the ground frozen in fear, and not just him, all of the kids in the class were frozen. They were scared to even turn around and see what was going on. Sasuke was brave enough to turn and saw Naruto glaring down at the Inuzuka boy. He was reminded of how his brother looked at him when he was younger. Did Naruto have that kind of power? He wondered to himself at watching Naruto bully Kiba. Naruto quickly regained control over himself and sat next to Hinata and put an arm around her waist and pulled her close to him, making the girl blush at the public sign of affection. Hinata didn't know Naruto could be so dominant, and dare she say, she liked it. Naruto-kun, I think you scared everyone. Hinata whispered to Naruto, who still had his arm around her waist and was not letting go. If they are scared of this, then they might as well just leave, because the ninja world is a much more dangerous place. Most of the kids felt a bit angry at his words and hardened their resolve to become strong. He saw Kiba still looking at him and Hinata, so he showed his sharper than average K9s that looked more like fangs. Get lost. Kiba got up and scrambled to the bottom of the class as far away from Naruto as possible. Hinata smiled and snuggled more into Naruto, who tightened his hold on Hinata, making the girl blush but smile all the same. He just bullied the whole class, but she would do the same if some other girl tried to take her man. Hokage office. Tell me what you have discovered about Naruto Uzumaki. Hiruzen ordered the cat Ambu he had to watch over Naruto. He wanted to know what the hell was going on with Naruto. He was completely surprised when Guy had told him about the fight between two students who were not even genin yet. Naruto's power raised a lot of questions that only led to more questions. The way he would look back at him with no fear, the way he has been acting towards the Hyuga who have sent several complaints, but there was not much he could do to the boy. It's like he said, I would spy on him and watch his training. He only did the basic exercise while also performing the basics of his taijutsu style. Although, I would sometimes feel as if he knew I was there and not show me everything he could do. Hiruzen was begging to get irritated at how complex Naruto was getting. It's as if Naruto was a totally different person. Last week he would come in and ask to be trained or told stories about the fourth Hokage. He doesn't even come to his office anymore, nor does he call him old man like he used to. Hiruzen's eyes widened. Did he figure out who his parents are? Or did he find out about the 9 tails? He quickly shook those thoughts away. There was just no way he could figure that out. Naruto wasn't that smart. He wanted Naruto to become strong, but on his terms and under his beliefs. Hokage-sama, if I may speak freely? Hiruzen raised an eyebrow at what she could possibly want to say. He gave her a nod. I think you are overreacting. Naruto hasn't done anything but taken his training seriously, and considering what he is and what he will face in his life, this is a change for the better. I think it would be best to leave him alone and only monitor from a distance. Hiruzen wasn't so sure. If he left Naruto alone, he might end up in the hands of his enemies, and that would not be good for anyone. He promised his parents that he would take good care of Naruto, but he had broken that promise, and only showed up when Naruto really needed his help. Okay, I will consider what you have said. You may take your original position back. He dismissed her, leaving him to his thoughts. He was suddenly hit with the great idea to use the crystal ball and spy on Naruto. Pulling the ball out and placing it on his desk, he pumped chakra into the ball and tried to lock on to Naruto's chakra, but he wasn't able to. He added more chakra into the ball, but all he got was static. It was as if something was blocking it from going through. But that is impossible, unless Naruto had something preventing him from watching him. He cursed at his plan failing. He would think more about this when he got the time, because now he had paperwork to do. Classroom. Naruto was currently listening to Iruka go on and on about the history of the village. He already knew about this stuff, but he would somewhat pay attention to the class this time, unlike last time. Okay class, can anyone tell me how the War and States period ended? Iruka looked around the class and saw the boy he didn't want in his class with his hand up. He didn't like Naruto at first, but he would at least give him a chance. Naruto Uzumaki. Naruto stood up and answered without missing a beat. The War and States period ended when Hashirama and Madara, the leaders of their clan, came together and formed an alliance. This led to the two going off to create this lovely village. Naruto knew this because he had let Sasuke place him into a genjutsu, and showed him what Hashirama had told him about what it meant to be a shinobi. Iruka nodded in acceptance at his answer, pleased that he was paying attention. The rest of the class went like this, with Iruka asking questions that Naruto would answer in extreme detail. He decided he would show his intelligence and manipulate the system to his will. It was now the end of the day and class was dismissed. Naruto walked outside with Hinata. They were going to go and get some training in when they were stopped by Kiba and a bunch of bullies. Hey loser, what you did in the class was luck. I can't let you walk around like you are the alpha. Naruto and Hinata only rolled their eyes. All they wanted to do was go train, but this boy was getting in the way. Let's hurry up and make this quick. I have better things to do. This angered Kiba and the bullies, making them charge in head first. They were quickly dropped when Naruto only kicked them in the face too fast for them to see. Kiba was the last one left. I'm not like them and won't go down so easy. Kiba quickly charged in, making Naruto shake his head at the foolish boy. Kiba was always talking a big game but never backed it up. Naruto did a spinning kick to his face, sending him tumbling to the ground. He did all of this in front of Kiba's mom, who was looking shocked and a bit embarrassed at her foolish son. I am sorry for my pup's actions. I will make sure he learns his lesson. Naruto merely gave the older woman a smile. Don't worry about it, Miss Inuzuka. I am sure he has learned his lesson now. My name is Tsum Inuzuka, so just call me Tsum. I am not one for all the formal crap. She gave him a feral grin when he returned. Okay Tsum, my name is Naruto Uzumaki. See ya around. He grabbed Hinata's hand and began to walk away, talking and laughing. You know Naruto-kun, sometimes I am a bit jealous at how graceful your moves look. She pouted a little, only making him chuckle. Ah, come on Hina-chan, you are making me blush. He rubbed the back of his head with a smile and blush, making Hinata giggle. You're so silly Naruto-kun. Naruto only smiled warmly at the girl and held her hand tightly. He would protect her this time, he wouldn't fail. This was his last chance after all. Later, after training for hours in their secret training ground, Naruto and Hinata make their way into the personal hot spring Naruto had made. Hinata was still shy, but Naruto was at least able to get in the same side as her now, although he had to have his eyes closed the whole time while Hinata was blushing slightly. They had worked on performing more jutsu, which left the training ground a complete wreck that would take time to grow back. He was able to do a quarter of his wind jutsu from his past life. He went back to the library to borrow more fire jutsu so he could practice with his white-hot flames. Hinata thought his flames were beautiful and indicated his strong will to prevail. Making him smile at her heartfelt words, he used the shadow clones to go over his taijutsu and sealing while he worked on his jutsu himself. Hinata had also practiced some small jutsu with Naruto. She had learned the water release water bullet and water release water shuriken. She was happy with her progress, and so was Naruto. She would have to hide that she could use jutsu because it was highly looked down upon in her clan, but Naruto had explained to her that if she limited herself it would only hurt her in the long run. They did another taijutsu spar which Naruto easily won, but he noticed that Hinata was getting better as time went by. She would often catch him off guard with her flexibility, and he would have to rely on his experience to dodge and counter her attacks. If she kept up at this pace, they would be back to their strength from the past. At least she would. Naruto still had a long time to go before he could reach his old power. He wanted to practice using his realm heart but thought he would keep it to himself for now. He didn't know what effect it would have on other people around him. He was going to tell her about Kurama but decided he would wait until she grew up a little more. He also could feel Hiruzen trying to spy on him with the crystal ball and decided he would place one on Hinata so Hiruzen couldn't spy on her and catch them in the secret training place. Hinata-chan, can I place a seal on you? She gave him a questioning look. What kind of seal? He smiled. Good, she isn't against the idea completely. He looked back at her. It will stop the Hokage from spying on you and catch you training out here with me. She looked at him with those beautiful lavender eyes he loved so much. She made a quick thinking face that made her look up and tap her chin in thought. Naruto almost jumped and cuddled with her. Do you already have the seal on you? Hinata questioned Naruto, who nodded and showed her a seal on the bottom of his foot that had the kanji 4 jam on his right bottom foot. And Naruto-kun, why did you put it on your foot? Well, nobody ever looks or sees the bottom of your foot, so nobody will see it. I also placed another seal over that one that makes it invisible. Hinata was impressed at how great Naruto seemed at seals. Maybe he would be able to help her with her dream for the clan. That's a good idea. But if he noticed that he won't be able to locate me either, won't that just make him know you had something to do with it? Naruto looked at her for a second. His face was blank just like his mind. How could he forget something like that? If the old man had connected the dots between the two of us, he might try to get the information out of Hinata in some way. That thought made his blood boil. He would not allow that to happen. He then got the idea to turn the seal off and on. So when she felt like someone was watching her, she could just turn the seal off and allow him to look. However, when they were inside this barrier, Hiruzen wouldn't be able to locate her chakra. The old man was soft and weak-willed, so Naruto just had to put it up to chance that he wouldn't press too hard on the situation. Okay, Hinata-chan, you make a good point, so I will try to make a new seal that you will be able to turn on and off and on. I will get to work on it tomorrow. It is late and you should make your way home. The sun had completely went down while they were in the spring. Oh, okay Naruto-kun, take your time. She got out the water and quickly dried off so as not to freeze from the cold winds of the night. She put on her navy blue pants and slipped on her blue ninja sandals. She put on her sleeveless orange vest she had in order to match Naruto. Naruto got up and put on his clothes. They then grabbed all of their stuff and left the forest. Hinata wanted to be brave and decided she would grab Naruto's hand. Naruto only turned back and gave the girl a smile which made her blush but smile nonetheless. They were walking to her compound when Naruto felt as if someone's gaze was on him. He looked around discreetly to see if he could find the person who was watching them. He didn't want to alert Hinata or the person watching them that he knew something was up. They had turned the corner, and that is when the person watching them striked. Naruto grabbed Hinata and jumped back from a hail of weapons coming to end their life. Naruto landed back and he saw someone drop in front of them covered in a black cloak and mask hiding their face. They had the figure of a grown man and possessed a jonin amount of chakra. He stepped in front of Hinata, who had gotten a little scared at the sudden turn of events. "What do you think you're doing?" Naruto asked the cloaked figure in a hard tone, leaking some of his ki at the person. He could see it had an effect on them because they were shaking a little, but he still didn't get an answer. The cloaked figure simply charged Naruto, who met the person in the middle clashing. They exchanged blows for a while until Naruto landed a kick on the person's midsection, causing a grunt of pain and sending them back into a wall, sending spiderweb cracks up the wall. Naruto knew this wouldn't keep them down, so he quickly released all his resistance seals and got ready for round 2. He looked back to the clone who was holding Hinata. "Quickly, take her to the compound." The clone nodded and turned to run off. "Wait, and Naruto-kun. I can help you." She tried to protest, but Naruto knew she wasn't ready and decided it would be better if she was in a safe place. The clone then began to run off with a crying Hinata. He sent her one last smile of reassurance. The cloaked figure got back to their feet and got in a stance he knew all too well. The gentle fist. He became furious at what he was seeing. He would kill this man and bring his corpse to Hiashi and demand answers. Naruto dashed off to the figure, who was surprised at the speed of the boy in front of him. Due to being caught off guard, Naruto was able to deliver a kick to the man's stomach, making him fold over on Naruto's leg. Naruto didn't stop there. He sent 2 quick kicks to the man's stomach and finished with a jumping knee to the man's lower jaw, snapping his head back. The cloaked Hyuga really underestimated how strong the kid was and now was paying the price. However, he wasn't a jonin for nothing. He quickly caught himself and grabbed Naruto's leg that was coming for his face and put it on his shoulder. He sent a palm strike right towards Naruto's stomach. Naruto quickly switched his weight onto his left leg to gain some balance. He was now on one leg and used his captured right leg to hook around the Hyuga's head. This move was called Dragon Catcher. He spun and hopped on his left leg, making the Hyuga stumble forwards and cause his strike to hit Naruto's left shoulder, making him wince in pain. He now had a limp left arm. He could just reopen the chakra point, but that would require Kurama's chakra and that would alert everyone, but maybe that was not a bad idea right now. He would just make do with what he had now and fight the best he could. The masked Hyuga looked at Naruto and got ready to charge back at him. Naruto also got ready with his one good arm and 2 legs. He could feel the smirk coming from the Hyuga. They rush again and Naruto extends his leg to the man's face, but the Hyuga simply pushes Naruto's leg the other way, making him spin in mid-air and leaving him wide open for a strike. Naruto only smirked and used his momentum to deliver a spinning kick to the man's face, knocking him back. "Okay, I can't go in the air again, or he will just knock me away with his gentle fist and leave me wide open again. I will use small-scale jutsu that will help me." Naruto had to block the Hyuga, who was chagrin him on the left side. He was going to try and use Naruto's weakness against him. He tried to block all the attacks, but he wasn't able to with just one arm and the overwhelming strength and height difference. Naruto was struck again in the chest and all along his right arm that was quickly beginning to lose feeling. He shook it off and engaged in the fight again. Naruto ducked under a palm to the face and spun to avoid a palm to his solar plexus. Spinning on his left leg, he struck out with a kick that was caught by the Hyuga. Instead of doing what he did last time, he grabbed Naruto's leg and used the leg to swing him into the building, making him cry out in pain. The Hyuga quickly charged Naruto, who was getting out the wall but wasn't fast enough to get up an efficient guard. Naruto was blocking, parrying, and weaving, but he still received more strikes than he could land on the Hyuga. Naruto received a palm to the right side of his chest, making him cough out some blood. He then saw the man get in a stance. He remembered Neji performing, "You are within my range." Those were the first words he heard come from the man's whose voice sounded a bit scruffy and old, making him guess it was a Hyuga who was at least in their late 30s or early 40s. 8 trigrams 64 palms. Naruto was then relentlessly struck with the attacks that targeted all 64 chakra points, making him cough up more blood and spit to the ground. He could feel the Hyuga's arrogance and confidence. Naruto fell to the ground in his puddle of blood, getting it all on his face and clothes. It was then Naruto received the memories of his clone, and his eyes widened in horror, which quickly turned to rage. "Clone Naruto, don't worry, Hinata-chan, the boss will be fine. We just need to worry about getting you to safety." The clone was dashing across the rooftops with great speed while Hinata only shed silent tears. "But I can help you. This is what we have been training for." She felt so weak again. Just like when she was kidnapped by the cloud and couldn't do anything to help. She wanted to help Naruto. She was strong. "Right." The clone then stopped when 3 figures who were also covered in cloaks and wearing masks. "Where the fuck is the Umbu that are supposed to be out here?" The clone tightened its hold on Hinata, who looked up to see the others in front of them, and was a little shaken up at what she was seeing. They all stared at each other down for a moment, not making a sound. Only listening to the sound of Mother Nature, and the very faint sounds of the original Naruto's fight. Hinata activated her Byakugan to see if she could look through the mask. She wasn't able to, which made her eyes widen in shock. Those masks are made of a material our Byakugan can't see through. Only the Hyuga know of this secret. So you are either Hyuga or hired assassins who were given this gear by the Hyuga clan. She didn't want to believe that her clan would try and have her killed, but had no other idea of what could be going on, so she kept her mind off that for a moment. They said nothing, only charged the two, making clone Naruto quickly jump away and gain distance, and started to run and get her to safety. The clone made a clone to perform quick jutsu, wind-style great breakthrough. The clone let off a strong gust of wind that pushed them back and gave him some room. Only one of them was able to withstand the attack, and he guessed he was the strongest out of them all. Your weak wind was only a slight breeze. The attack only seemed to blow his clothes and push him back and not throw him back like the others. It doesn't matter, a storm always follows the winds. Another clone appeared from the roof and shot a quick air bullet at the man, who only dodged it. I can see your moves, boy. So he is a Hyuga. Fuck, I can't defeat him. His thoughts were quickly cut off when the other two Hyuga appear in front of him, and launched their own attacks at him. 8 trigrams air palm. Naruto quickly shielded his body in front of Hinata in order to take the attack for her. The clone smiled at the shaking girl, who had tears in her eyes. You have to get out of here, Hinata-chan. I will come find you. The clone quickly dropped a smoke pelt that was infused with chakra to block their vision for a little while. He pushed Hinata out of the way and took the attack, allowing her to run while the smoke covered her. They tried to see through the smoke but were not able to, and looked around to see if she could be spotted. Hurry, we must find her. They all jump off to find the girl. Original Naruto. Naruto was livid. This would not be allowed. He struggles to his feet, shocking the Hyuga, who was surprised to see the boy getting to his feet. Naruto tried to suppress some of Kurama's chakra in order not to alert the village, but he was having a hard time with the combined anger of him and Kurama. He placed his hand over his face and released the seal for his mask. He put it over his face and activated his realm heart. His hair quickly grew past his neck, turning his hair white with golden tips and making his blue eyes an intense lavender. The golden runes quickly flowed down his body like a raging river, similar to how he was feeling. His glowing lavender eyes showed from behind the mask. Steam came from the corners of his mouth. He then spoke in a demonic voice that scared the shit out of the Hyuga in front of him. You're dead. The man shivered but quickly shook it off and got in a ready stance. I knew you were a D-demon. I will do the village a favor and kill you and that Hyuga bitch. He rushed towards Naruto, who only seemed to get more angry, and the cap that was holding his anger began to crack. Naruto easily dodged all of the man's attacks and delivered a punch to his jaw, shattering his jaw from the strength of his punch. Naruto stepped into the man's guard and delivered an elbow to his ribs, making the man bend down to a level Naruto could grab him. Naruto grabbed him by the back of his neck and pulled him down into his knee over and over again until the man's nose broke and blood began to pour. Naruto finished him off by snapping his neck without mercy. Naruto used his advanced senses to locate Hinata's chakra. He felt her distress and fear and quickly jumped off, leaving the Hyuga's dead body on the ground to go cold. Naruto then jumped through the roof and ran to Hinata's location. Where the fuck are the Ambu? If they won't show, I will make them. He ran at Jonin level speeds, only a white blur across the rooftop. He then spotted the orange vest of Hinata running in the alleyway, but he also saw the other Hyuga right behind her. No, she needs me. I have to save her. He then channeled a huge amount of chakra into his hand that sounded like 1,000 birds chirping. A huge Chidori was in his hand. It was so packed with chakra it weighed his arm down. The chakra was so bright it lit up a part of the night. The others turned at the spike of chakra and saw Naruto running towards them with a lighting-covered hand. He then disappeared from their vision until they heard the birds above them. Chidori! Naruto ran the attack through 2 of the Hyuga, killing them in an instant, but he was not able to reach the other one. The attack faded from his hand and he quickly dropped to a knee and coughed up some blood. The Hyuga took this chance to finish the mission and kill the Hyuga girl. He lunged towards her with his palm aimed to hit her in the heart, and kill the girl in an instant. Time seemed to slow down for Naruto. He felt deja vu at the situation all over again. It was the same as last time. Hinata was stabbed by pain, all because of him. He wouldn't allow things to turn out that way again. That is when he noticed everything around him seemed to have stopped. The blood that was in the air was stuck in place. He tried to touch it but his finger couldn't reach the blood. It was being stopped. He however shook that off when he saw the man about to hit Hinata, who had her eyes closed. He quickly got to his feet and pulled a kunai from his pouch and tried to stab the man, but the same thing happened with the blood. He couldn't make contact with the man, so he merely got in front of Hinata and aimed the kunai towards the man's head, so when time moved again he would die in an instant. That was another problem. How did he stop whatever was going on? Kurama, are you seeing this? I am, and let me be the first to say. Damn. You seem to have stopped time. That's cool and all, but how do I unfreeze it? I don't know, this is some complex shit. This new form of yours seems to be a lot more complicated than we imagined. Kurama was simply impressed at the potential this new Sage mode had. He was able to control all the 5 elements like child's play, similar to an Otsutsuki. He may be able to use all bloodlines because of this fact. Now the most recent one. He can freeze time but is unable to interact with frozen people or objects. Try to think of making time flow again. Naruto concentrated on making the time flow again. That was when the name of the move came to his mind, Static Void. He mumbled, and that is when time resumed once again. The Hyuga didn't even have time to blink. He saw the lavender eyes through the mask and barely caught a glimpse of the kunai that impacted his skull, killing him on the spot. Blood spurted out and landed on his mask. He turned around and saw a shaking Hinata. He quickly took off the mask and deactivated Realheart. He wrapped Hinata into his bloody arms. He sealed the mask back up and simply held Hinata, who cried, into his chest. "Don't worry, Hinata-chan, I got you." He whispered into her ear softly. "Why?" She was able to get out between sniffs. "Why what? Why did they try to kill us?" She stopped crying and simply stayed in his arms. He wondered that too. Why did they come after the both of them? "I don't know, but we will find out. That isn't important right now, all that matters is that you are safe." He ran his hands through her midnight blue hair and placed her head on his shoulder. "And Naruto-kun, what was that form you were in? Your hair was white, you even used that strong lighting attack." She flinched a bit at remembering how Naruto killed those two so brutally. Naruto felt her start to shake and held her closer to him. "It is something I wanted to keep secret until I got a better handle on it. I need you to keep it a secret for me, okay?" She nodded. "Okay, Naruto-kun, it doesn't matter anyways. All that matters is that you are safe." She held onto him tighter. He chuckled lightly but quickly coughed up blood and fell to his back. "Damn, it seems forcefully opening my chakra points in this form did a number on me, not to mention all the attacks I did. Not to mention I was already tired from training today." He coughed a little more, making Hinata worry even more. "And Naruto-kun, you are hurt." Tears were coming to her eyes at not being able to help Naruto. He saw this and didn't want her to cry again. "Hinata-chan, do you have more of your magical cream?" He gave her a bloody smile. Hinata sucked in a breath, and the inside of her neck started to burn. She pulled out the magical cream with shaky hands. "I told you it's called ointment." She then began to rub it on his bruises, but it was washed away because of her tears and the rain that had suddenly appeared. She cried, but you couldn't tell if it was tears or from the rain. She held Naruto close to her, as he fell unconscious due to everything that happened tonight. This is the scene Hiruzen and a squad of Umbu appeared to see. Dead bodies and blood everywhere. The Hyuga heiress crying silently with a passed-out Naruto in her lap. He could see from here the bad shape the boy was in. Did he do all of this? I felt that build-up of chakra. But to think this 8-year-old boy did this. Naruto, just what are you not telling? He told the Umbu to search the area for anything that might help them with the scene at hand. He walked to the two kids. "Come, we need to get you two to the hospital." He tried to pick up Naruto, but his hand was swatted away by Hinata. "I will bring him there." She then picked Naruto up in her arms and looked at him expectantly. "Are you going to take us to the hospital or what?" Hiruzen was just shocked at the normally shy girl smacking his hand away and telling him what to do. He coughed in his hand to get his brain to work again. "Right. Umbu, keep searching and report to me when you find anything useful." He then placed a hand on Hinata and body flickered to the hospital. They appeared in the hospital, and when he thought Hinata would stumble like last time, she didn't and only walked to the desk. "I need a doctor for my friend," Hinata said as calmly as she could to the nurse at the desk, who looked at her and smiled until she noticed who Hinata was holding and scowled. "That thing isn't allowed, so get lost," the nurse said with clear venom in her tone. Hinata activated her Byakugan in anger and glared at the nurse. "Give us a room. Now." The nurse was a bit frightened and was about to curse the girl out until she heard a voice that made her freeze. "I believe the young lady asked for a room," Hiruzen said, placing a hand on Hinata's shoulder. Hokage-sama. Right away." She quickly got up and escorted them to a hospital room and called for the best doctor. Hinata put Naruto in the bed, not even taking off his bloody zip-up black jacket. She shed a few more tears and held his hand to comfort him in his sleep. "Don't worry, Naruto-kun, I am here for you." Hiruzen, watching this, smiled to himself. It seems that Naruto has found him a true friend. Hinata then turned to Hiruzen. What did that lady mean when she called Naruto a thing? Hinata didn't even want to say that about Naruto. She was angry and wanted to give the nurse a palm strike to the gut. Hiruzen sighed. He had hoped that she didn't hear that, but he guessed it was for naught. He wondered if he should tell this 8-year-old girl that secret. He would have to talk with her anyways about what happened, so he guessed it would be better to tell her now. Plus it seemed like she actually cared about Naruto. He placed down a privacy seal. "What I am about to tell you cannot leave this room, it is a S-rank secret." Hinata nodded, ready to hear what was going to be said. Naruto's hospital room. "I am sure you are well aware of the stories that are around the 9-tailed fox that attacked our village 8 years ago. He received a shaky nod from the Hyuga, who was still a little shaken up from the events that happened not too long ago. "Well, all of that is a lie." She gasped and wanted to speak, but he held up a hand to stop her. "The truth is the 9 tails was not defeated but only sealed into a boy who was just born on that day. He was given a curse not many can hope to live with, but still he keeps going and moving on. He protects the village by keeping the demon back. He turned to the girl who seemed to be taking in everything he was telling her. He could see the gears in her head turning. She just needed another push. Do you know when Naruto's birthday is? Hinata answered without missing a beat. October 10th. She then froze and her eyes widened. It all made sense now, the glares, the way they kick him out of stores, the abnormal amount of chakra he had, and the fast healing. He was shouldering all of this on his own. She then remembered the words he had told her. Flashback. They had just got done doing a practice fight, and they both had bruises all along their body. She couldn't even stand up, but she looked over and saw Naruto slowly making his way to his feet. He stood up to his feet, and Hinata saw adult version of Naruto standing behind Naruto with nothing but strength and confidence in himself. That's what she wanted all her life, that same kind of confidence and self-assurance. How? She mumbled. Naruto simply looked at her with those sky-blue eyes she loved so much. What did you say, princess? How can you keep going and moving on with such confidence? Why do you push yourself so hard? She wanted to know if it was possible for her to also possess such drive in herself. Naruto held his head down and went over what he could tell her. He could see the desperation in her eyes. He knew what he told her today would shape her future, but he couldn't just tell her. He held his head up and gazed at her with a serious gaze that made her flinch a little. That is something you must figure out for yourself, Hinata. I keep going because I have to. There are people counting on me. There are things that I must do. I have to endure, shoulder, and overcome. That's my ninja way. He spoke with such power and confidence she couldn't help but feel the trust he had in himself. He spoke as if he had already done it, and will do it again. His words made her believe in him, and she wanted to be by his side when he accomplished everything. I too shall endure, shoulder, and overcome. It will be my ninja way. Naruto saw the look of determination in her eyes and smiled. Don't just copy what I said, you must find your own ninja way. He gave her a warm smile that made her blush. Flashback over. Now I understand. Her exclamation made Hiruzen raise an eyebrow. What do you mean? I asked Naruto-kun why he always pushed himself so hard, and he told me that he had to. He said people were counting on him. He also told me his ninja way. She smiled softly while giving his hand a slight squeeze. Hiruzen was a bit surprised at the mature words of Naruto. He was talking as if he already knew what awaited him in the future. He wanted to figure out the puzzle that was Naruto Uzumaki. Oh, and what might his ninja way be? She had his full attention, and Hinata only had a loving smile on her face. To endure, shoulder, and overcome. That's my ninja way. Again Hiruzen was shocked by the maturity of Naruto. He figured he would say something about becoming the Hokage and not giving up. This sounded like the words of a wise man who has seen and done many things in their life, not the words of some 8-year-old boy. With this kind of mindset, I think it would be possible to tell him everything. From Hinata's words it sounds like he already knows about the 9 tails. Maybe if I was just honest with him from the beginning. Hiruzen was knocked from his thoughts when they saw Naruto moving around in his sleep. Naruto slowly opened his eyes but quickly shut them when he was blinded by bright lights and white walls. Damn, they should really decorate this place. He then turned his head and saw a crying Hinata and a relieved Hiruzen. He opened his arms and Hinata wasted no time, and immediately jumped into his arms and began to cry tears of happiness. Don't worry Hinata-chan, I am okay. He run his small hands through her short midnight hair just like she loved. That was a complete lie. He was in pain all over and her jumping into his arms did not help, but he held in his pain in order to make her feel better. Hiruzen however saw the pain go across his face. He again was surprised at the willpower of Naruto. Maybe I shall tell him, but I should test him just to be sure. He smiled at the sight because Hinata was checking all over Naruto's body and pointing out his injuries like some overprotective mother. Naruto-kun, you should have let me help you. Maybe then none of this would have happened. Hiruzen saw the rage that went across Naruto's face and for a split second his eyes flashed red, making him worry. Naruto only placed his hands on both of her cheeks, squishing her face and making her stop talking. Hinata-chan, those guys were after you and I just couldn't allow them to harm you. But we were training and I could have helped you. He smacked both of her cheeks, making the girl yelp in surprise. No Hinata-chan, they wanted you dead and I wouldn't forgive myself if something like that happened to you because I was too weak to protect you. He brought their forehead together, making the girl blush brightly. But why? I can protect myself, you know. Her face was as red as can be. She had never been this close to Naruto. They were in their own little world right now. Naruto only gave her a true genuine smile full of all the love and kindness he could give. It's because I love you, Hinata. Hiruzen dropped his pipe from his mouth, and his eyes were wide at the confession. Hinata, however, was just a complete wreck. He loves me. Me. Did I hear him right? She looked up to see his smiling face still looking at her with those same love-filled eyes. Hinata's face turned an all-new shade of red, to levels it had never reached before in her life. She then fainted right in his arms, making him chuckle. Naruto then turned to look at the old man in the room. Hiruzen was not expecting this to happen. He could see that the two loved each other, but he didn't think that they would actually confess so early on in life. Well, that was a beautiful thing to witness. However, we need to get down to business. What the hell happened? Naruto then began to shake with anger, and Hiruzen could see that much. Naruto had to stop when he winced in pain from his injuries. It was the Hyuga. Hiruzen was confused at the statement. What do you mean it was the Hyuga? Naruto slowly turned his cold blue eyes to the old Hokage, who suppressed a shiver at the gaze that looked just like his father's when he was in war. The Hyuga sent some assassins from their clan after Hinata to kill her, and me by proxy. One of them said they would do the village a favor by getting rid of the demon. Hiruzen flinched. Is there something you want to tell me? Naruto asked in a tone that left no room for argument. All you do is say yes. Well, you seem to be mature enough, so I guess I can tell you. Naruto only nodded, already knowing what he was going to say. On the night of your birth, the fourth Hokage sealed the 9 tails into you in order to save the village, making you a Jinchuriki or human sacrifice. He noticed Naruto was not fazed one bit. In fact, he seemed pleased, as if he was testing him. The professor. Thank you for telling me the truth. Is there anything else you feel I should know about? Hiruzen looked hesitant for a second, which Naruto saw and thought it would be a good chance to capitalize on. I just hope the fourth Hokage asked my father for permission before he sealed the 9 tails into me. Hiruzen looked up in shock at what Naruto was implying, and he was met with the smirking face of one Naruto. Why, you knew? Naruto only nodded with the smirk still on his face. Is that why you have been acting so distant and untrustworthy towards me lately? Naruto nodded again, smirk now gone and a frown on his face. Yes, you had no right to hide my parents from me. What child does not deserve to know who brought him into the world? I also know about my mother, and don't even bother asking how I know. Hiruzen put his head down in guilt. I did it to Don't even say it was to protect me. He was sick of hearing that sorry excuse for everything. You were only protecting the village because you were scared I would tell someone and then the information would get out and IWA would come and attack just to kill me. I had to. You didn't. If you had told me that whole situation, I would have had a better understanding of the situation. I am sorry, but it's what I had to do as a Hokage. Naruto frowned at his words. That is why I was hiding this from you. You think just because it is for the good of the village it will justify your actions? No. Then you completely wiped the information about the Uzumaki clan from the whole village, and you have the nerve to wear the swirl on your back. Hiruzen flinched at that. It was something he didn't want to do but had to. Look, it's all in the past now and there is nothing we can do to change that. They both share a nod at those words. Now I have been training in secret with Hinata for the past weeks and have made great progress, as you can see. I didn't tell you because you would have thought it was the 9 tails and tried to mess with my seal and only make things worse. I understand now. I indeed was thinking that. Yeah, the Umbra gave it away. Naruto smirked to the wide-eyed old man. Why, you knew she was there? Naruto's smirk only grew bigger. I am a censor. That was all Hiruzen needed for all of his questions to be answered. It was why he couldn't lock onto Naruto. Because he knew he was trying to spy on him and would do something to mess with his crystal ball. Okay, now back to the subject at hand. Hiruzen also turned serious again. I killed all 4 of the Hyuga assassins. I used all of my training to battle them and keep Hinata safe in the end. Hiruzen was shocked. Naruto killed 4 clan members of the Hyuga. This would cause an uproar with the Hyuga. I know what you are thinking. You think this will cause some kind of uproar in the clan, right? Hiruzen nodded. You are right. Hiruzen's face faltered. I know it will. He responded irritated. Yes, but I also saved the Hyuga clan's head daughter from death. That simply cannot go overlooked. I didn't see if they were main branch members, but I was hit with the 64 palms and I know that is a main branch technique, so one of them was a main branch Hyuga while the others were most likely side branch members forced to do it. Hiruzen was yet again shocked at the mind of young Naruto. He figured all of this out from just one battle. He held all of the cards right now. I will inform Hiashi if he already doesn't know. That is when the door was slammed open and in came the man himself. He quickly gazed around the room looking at the Hokage and a heavily injured Naruto who had a blood-covered Hinata in his arms. The man let out a sigh of relief that both Naruto and Hiruzen saw and smirked. Well, it seems the ice-cold clan head does care for his daughter. Naruto had that smirk he always had on when talking to the man. What happened, Naruto? I just got news that my daughter was attacked. Naruto only smiled at the man. Yes, we were attacked, but I killed them. Naruto's tone was dead serious. I am also glad that you seem to have nothing to do with this whole thing and actually care about your daughter. Hiashi raised an eyebrow at Naruto. And what if I did have something to do with it? That is when he was hit with some of Naruto's ki, which made his heart skip a beat from the suddenness. I would have had to kill you. Naruto spoke with blue eyes that were as cold as an ice glacier and had no remorse for his enemies. What the hell? How can he release such killing intent and bloodlust? Is this the 9 tails? No, I don't feel it at all. Hiruzen was just being surprised again and again by Naruto today. Hiashi was much worse. He was releasing more ki than the time he first came to the compound. What the hell has my clan gotten themselves into with this boy? I can't believe it. He'd really kill me. Naruto quickly calmed himself down when he felt Hinata shiver from his ki. He would have to get her used to this when they would spar. He couldn't have her freezing up when she fights someone. He gently rubbed her hair, making the girl purr in her sleep, causing Naruto to gush at how cute it was. Sorry about that, I lost my cool. Naruto slightly bowed to the two men, shocking them both because he has never showed them any kind of respect. Don't worry about it, Naruto, it happens to the best of us, Hiruzen said. Hayashi watched how Naruto and Hinata acted and gave a slight smile, once he got over Naruto's ki of course. He then came to a decision. I approve. He was going to make sure his daughter was left in good hands. Naruto, I have a favor to ask of you. Naruto turned and looked at him. I want Hinata to stay with you, it appears she is much safer with you. But if you try anything I will have to gentle fist your balls. He finished with a glare and some of his own ki, making Naruto smirk. Don't even worry about it. But if I am going to have another guest staying with me I need a bigger place. He then looked at Hiruzen who seemed to get the message. Okay, I will upgrade you to a nice apartment. Naruto nodded, that isn't what he wanted but he could wait a little longer. He waited 16 years last time, what's a little more? Be sure to check the bodies of the Hyugas I killed. The two nodded. I will be in here for a while, so have the apartment ready when I get out. Now move along. He then pulled Hinata closer to him who smiled in her sleep, making him smile as well. He made himself comfortable and went to sleep with her, both with smiles on their faces. The two men leave the room. That Naruto will be a great ninja, Hiruzen said with a gentle smile on his old face. You're telling me, he killed 4 Hyuga by himself. The elders are not going to like this. Hayashi was about to pull his hair out in frustration. Hiruzen chuckled, he would also have problems with his own council. Just remember, you owe Naruto this one. Yes I know, but my clan won't feel the same way. Well, they will think twice before sending people after your daughter again. But you must remember you are the clan head and they listen to you, not the other way around. That's what Naruto would say, so just do what Naruto would. Hiruzen then walked off chuckling. Wow, me the great Hyuga clan head taking the words of an 8-year-old boy. He walked back to his compound in shame. Next day, you have 4 broken ribs, internal bleeding, your chakra coils are also damaged, you have torn muscles especially in your legs. A female doctor with long midnight black hair that was pulled in front of her chest and tied in thick braids. She had slightly pale skin with ocean blue eyes welled with kindness, but had a hidden bloodlust beneath the ocean floor. This was Retsu Unohana, the head doctor of the hospital and one of the best doctors in the world. She was currently reading off the damage to one Naruto Uzumaki. When can I leave? Naruto did not want to stay in this place. He was a bit curious about who this doctor was though. She was not in the hospital in his other life. He could also feel the power she kept hidden. He had a feeling there was more to her, but he would mind his business. She was a very nice person after all, when she was not threatening his life with that damn smile of hers. Unohana giggled to herself. She really liked this Naruto Uzumaki. She had heard about how much of a troublemaker he was but figured it was just people talking bad about him because of what he contained. She thought he was quite mature for his age. She also felt a hidden power around the boy along with a certain aura that just made her want to follow him. She couldn't quite describe it. All she knew is that he would be something special in the future. Naruto-kun, you won't be leaving this place for a few days. He slumped down in the hospital bed. Can you at least take these dumb bandages off? They were itchy and he liked to feel his skin. It's something he hated about that damn fake arm he had. It took him a long time to get comfortable with it. No, we have to keep that handsome face of yours in good shape for your little girlfriend. She would see how Hinata would come in here and spend hours talking to Naruto. She even wanted to sleep with him so he wouldn't get lonely. They both laughed at that. When she had woken up she had asked him if what he said was all a dream. She was overly joyed when she heard it wasn't and gave him a big hug and a small kiss on the cheek, making her blush. She isn't my girlfriend, not yet at least. Unohana only smiled at him. I still have to get stronger so I can protect her. He curled his fist and determination filled his eyes, making Unohana give him a motherly smile. Well, Naruto-kun, who will protect you? He looked at her confused. She also wants to be strong enough to protect you as well. You can't keep babying her. She is a ninja as well, so she will face danger in her life and you won't always be there to protect her. I know that. I just worry about her, you know. Unohana brought him into a soft hug. Yes, I know, but the bird has to leave the nest sometime. She ruffled his hair a bit, making him pout while she only chuckled. Get some rest, Naruto-kun. She left the room, leaving him alone. Kurama, will I really be in here for as long as Dr. Unohana says I will? Yup, you got messed up pretty bad. Your body is really damaged right now. You literally stopped time, Naruto. Your body is not strong enough to handle such things. You indeed have all the knowledge you need to become the strongest again, but you just have to wait for your body to catch up. You are moving too fast. This is a good chance to relax and think, or just enjoy some time with your mate. Yeah, you're right. I am always right. When will you understand that? Naruto only rolled his eyes, but thinking back to the fight. What was that I did? Stopping time. I will have to test it out more when I am able to leave. He simply rubbed his chin and thought, when I get out of the hospital I should pick up on my training along with Hinata. I am sure she will be all for it after what happened. I need to get stronger if I want to bring peace again. The things that await are not easy. He just let himself float off into his own world of things to come. He was planning out what he would do in the next 5 years and how strong he needed to be for the events to come. Kurama put in his input when he needed it. All he knew was that he was going to shake the world up and fuck over all the plans Obito had in store. He then thought about Obito. How would he convince him again? He was really only able to do that because he beat him and left him on death's bed. He didn't want things to get that far again, so he hardened his resolve and he would just kill him. He was better dead than a desperate man who would do anything. Naruto knew Obito was somewhere in the Rain Village or messing up the Mist Village right now. That's right, they had that civil war. I would like to go over and help them, but I don't have the time and I am not strong enough to help them. The only time I would be strong enough is during the training trip I had with Pervy Sage. I will go during the training trip. He turned to the door when he heard it open and Hinata walked in with a bag. He knew that smell all too well. Hinata, seeing Naruto looking at the bag, smiled. She knew there was no hiding it from him. Hello Naruto-kun, I brought you some food. She pulled out a cup of ramen and gave it to Naruto, who was drooling from the mouth. He took it and began to eat with a happy smile on his face. Thank you Hinata-chan, this is so much better than the hospital food I would always get. She only gave him a warm smile in return. No problem Naruto-kun, it was the least I could do for putting you in this place. She held her head down at that. If she wasn't so weak he wouldn't be in such a bad condition. Naruto, seeing this, put his bowl down and reached to Hinata, who was sitting next to his hospital bed. He put a hand under her chin and lifted her head up to face his. Hinata-chan, this is not your fault. I would do anything if it meant I could protect you and those I love. Hinata felt her heart swell with love at his words. If anything, this only means that we have to become stronger, doesn't it? He finished with a smile, making her smile as well. Yes, and then I can protect you. She gave him a hug, making him smile. Now tell me what happened in class today while we eat. She nodded and got back in her seat and began to tell him about the lesson, but he only tuned her out and just stared at her talk. She was still a little girl, but he just couldn't help but see the older Hinata in her place and telling him about random things. His eyes began to water a little, but he quickly blinked them away so she wouldn't notice. You're beautiful. Hinata stopped and looked at Naruto in surprise and a blush ran up her face. She only shook her head and smiled at Naruto. He was always just telling her random things. One time he said she looked like a rabbit. And you are very handsome Naruto-kun. Thank you Hinata-chan, I am glad you find my face appealing. She giggled softly to herself. They then just spent the rest of the day together. She even did her homework and Naruto helped her with it, much to her happiness. He also made her do some chakra control exercises so she could still train. Hinata had told him that she would practice in the medical arts while he is in the hospital. That way she could heal them after training. He then told her she would make a good wife one day. She blushed and then fainted with a happy smile on her face. It was now night time and she was getting tired, and he could see it by the way she would rub her eyes, and it just looked so cute. That is when his door slid open and Hayashi along with Unohana came in. Okay, visiting hours are over and it's time for bed. Unohana said with a smile. I have come to pick you up Hinata. Hayashi spoke, walking in the room with a small smile that was almost unnoticeable. Well, hello to you as well Hayashi. Naruto said sarcastically to the old Hyuga. Oh, I didn't see you there under all those bandages. Hayashi spoke just as sarcastically, making Naruto get a tick mark. Oh, is that right, old man? Are those eyes of yours losing their vision because of old age? Naruto smirked at the Hyuga, who had a tick mark, and glared at Naruto. Why, you brat? He activated his Byakugan. That is when Unohana stepped up. You two were not about to fight. Were you? She asked in that sweet tone, and I smiled that sent shivers up both men's spines. And no, ma'am. They both said with a bow of their heads. She clapped and smiled. Great, now let's leave so Naruto-kun can get some sleep. Before she could leave, Hinata went back up to Naruto and whispered in his ear. I know about the fox and I don't hate you. She gave him a little kiss on the cheek and smiled, then walked to her father and grabbed his hand and left. Naruto was shocked because he didn't say anything about Kurama. It must have been that old man. He just smiled and rubbed his cheek. She was becoming less shy each day. Unohana saw this and smiled. And you say she isn't your girlfriend? It was just a kiss. He turned and gave a cute pout, making her giggle at him. Good night Naruto-kun. And I'd better not see you trying to escape this room tonight. Or what? He challenged with a cocky smirk. Unohana opened her eyes, showing Naruto her ocean blue eyes that meet with his sky blue eyes. Unohana was a bit surprised Naruto didn't look scared when she gave him that look. Most people always shiver and look away. Just don't do it. She gave him that warm smile again that made him nod his head with vigor. Man, she can be real scary at times. But overall a pretty nice person. He gave her a smile in return. Thanks for taking care of me, Dr. Unohana. I really appreciate it. Not many people in this place want to help me. Unohana only gave him a warm smile in return. She seemed to be doing that a lot around him lately. It's my job, Naruto-kun. It also helps that I like you. I like you too, Miss Unohana. They both laughed together for a second. Okay Naruto-kun, good night. She turned off his light and left the room. 2 days later, council chambers. There are 2 sides of the council that make up the village. The clan heads who make up the shinobi council. Then you have the most influential civilians in the village who run the business. Both of these sides come together to make up the council of the village. We currently have both sides in attendance today to talk about the matter involving the Hyuga. I would like to inform you all that there was a recent attempt on the young Hyuga heiress's life 2 days ago, the Hokage stated, making everyone who didn't know to gasp in shock except for Danzo and the elders. Was it the Cloud again? Inoichi, the Yamanka clan had asked. No, it was members from my own clan. Hayashi said impassively, but if you knew what to listen for you could hear the slight anger in his tone. Everyone gasped again, and this time the elders looked interested in the topic. They all then start to mumble to each other about how the Hyuga were beginning to fall apart. The clan heads kept their thoughts to themselves, wondering if something similar would happen to their clan. The Hokage then grabbed all of their attention back to him. Silence. They all stopped talking, allowing him to continue. The attempt on her life was stopped by Naruto Uzumaki. He killed all 4 of the Hyuga assassins. This gained an immediate response from the civilian side of the council. They were calling for his death or to be locked up for killing members of the Sublime Hyuga clan, as if they were not just saying how the clan would be destroyed a few seconds ago. The shinobi side of the council was a bit impressed that an 8-year-old kid could kill 4 Hyuga clan members by himself. They had all figured the boy was just a troublemaker but would hear how their kids would say how smart was. They remember when their kids said he beat up Kiba with just a few kicks. Hiruzen calms everyone down again. I have asked Naruto to come and tell us the story. He then motioned for Umbu-guard to go and tell Naruto to come in. A little while later the door opened and Naruto walked in with his black collar zip up with an orange zipper. He had it open, showing he wasn't wearing a shirt under that. He had bandages wrapped around his torso. He was wearing loose-fitting black jogging pants with black-orange slippers. He waved to everyone but looked at the civilian council in confusion. Hokage, who are these people? The Hokage coughed to cover up his laugh along with the clan heads. Naruto didn't remember any of these guys in his past life. There was only the council for the clan heads and Hokage. He could make a guess as to why they were glaring at him like that though. These are the civilian members of the council. Hiruzen answered Naruto's question with a straight face. Naruto raised an eyebrow. We have a civilian council in a ninja village? That doesn't make any sense. The civilians were surprised that this boy would dare say something like this while the clan heads nodded with Naruto. You brat, show some respect. A member of the civilians said in outrage. Naruto only ignored him and looked at the old man. So can I tell you the part of my story? He got a nod from the old man. It started when we were just coming from a late-night training season and we were walking to the Hyuga compound. I had felt someone watching us and began to look around discreetly as to not alarm Hinata-chan or the Hyuga who were after us. The ninja of the room were impressed that he would stay calm in a situation like that, and not run away like most kids would. Once we had got to a certain location they attacked by throwing a barrage of ninja tools at us, but I grabbed Hinata in time and backed up. That was when a main branch Hyuga dropped down, and we started to fight, while I let a shadow clone take Hinata away. This shocked the ninja that an 8-year-old boy could know and perform a jutsu like that. How do you know such a jutsu, boy? Danzo demanded. Naruto gave him a side glance. He knew exactly who this was and Naruto knew he had to die. Use my name when you speak to me. Show some respect to your betters. Danzo tapped his cane on the ground. If that's how you want to put it. I am your better because I hold your life in my hands. He patted his stomach to make sure they all got the message. Everyone was surprised that he knew of the secret except for Hiruzen, who already knew. But he didn't think that he would reveal such information to the council. Danzo narrowed his eye at the boy. He was not supposed to know about that. Another reason why Hiruzen was a fool for telling him such things. Is that a threat? Naruto only smirked. Try me, bitch. The Hokage then interrupted. Danzo, use his name. And Naruto, please get back to what you were saying. Naruto smirked at Danzo, who gritted his teeth. Right. Once I had finished off the Hyuga with a snap of his neck, I quickly made my way towards the others in order to save Hinata. I had finished 2 of the Hyuga with a small lighting jutsu to the chest and stabbed the other in the head with a kunai. He was glad to avoid telling them how he learned the shadow clone jutsu, and hoped they would just allow him to leave before asking how he knew a lighting jutsu. Where did you learn a lighting jutsu from? Choza, the clan head of the Akimichi, asked. Naruto sighed in his head. I visited the library and looked at the jutsu and viewed the jutsu that was available. I practiced a low-level jutsu until I was able to get it done. Choza nodded, amazed that the boy could do so much while his son could only do the basics and eat. The other clan heads were the same, while the civilians had to admit they were impressed. If that is all, I will be going. I am still recovering. He left the room and went to the new apartment he had received from Hiruzen. He had come to tell him while he was in the hospital. Hayashi had already dropped Hinata's things off at his house, while Naruto would have to use some shadow clones to go and grab his things. He had made it to the apartment complex. His and Hinata's room was located on the 2nd floor. He went up the concrete stairs and made it to the oak wood door. He knocked on it softly, and he heard the sound of feet shuffling and boxes being knocked over. Hinata opened the door and gave Naruto a bright smile. Naruto, seeing this, remembered how Hinata would always greet him like this after he would have a long mission. His eyes began to water and Hinata noticed and began to worry. And Naruto-kun, what's the matter? She pulled him inside. It hurts. What hurts? She asked worriedly. My injuries. He grabbed her and pulled her into a tight hug, making Hinata surprised at the action, but she hugged him back just as tightly. I need some more of your magical cream. He felt a pinch on his side making him yelp in pain. I told you it's ointment. Sit down and I will fix you right up. Naruto smiled. Thanks, Doc. Hinata only smiled and began to work her magic. They both had smiles on their faces and just began to talk about useless things, just enjoying each other's company. 5 years later, Naruto and Hinata were currently in the bed snuggled up to each other. Hinata was sleeping on her side and Naruto had his arms wrapped around her waist and his head on her shoulder. Their legs were tangled underneath the covers along with one of their hands. Over the 5 years Hinata had really become a whole new person. She was no longer that shy girl but had her moments. She was still the nicest person and had that smile that could just melt the hearts of men. She had grown her hair out longer to where it reached the bottom of her neck and enough to tie it in a ponytail. Hinata had grown from her being a short, soft-spoken girl to become a brave and compassionate young woman. Naruto hadn't really changed much. His hair had grown longer but he had kept it short and spiky so Hinata could run her hands through his hair. His face had lost most of its baby fat and was more lean. His body had also developed much to his and Hinata's enjoyment. Hinata's body had also developed due to training with Naruto all the time. Her once flat chest was now a noticeable size bigger making Naruto enjoy to lay his head on her chest. They had also become much stronger. To the point where Naruto could defeat his past self after he defeated Kakazu. He would often use his past self to measure his and Hinata's progress. Kurama was very pleased about this. He always said he didn't want a weak container, and Naruto needed to be strong like he once was. Naruto had advanced in his fighting style renewal taekwondo. He was now on the recordless section of the scroll that opened up a whole new path for his martial arts. However, when he had been practicing in his style he had begun to lose the fights to Hinata over and over. She had begun to get used to his powerful kicks and started to counter him with her own new style. The flowing fist. She would use her flexible body and water nature chakra to always avoid his kicks and get close into his guard and deal serious damage. This led to him discovering the weakness to his style which was close combat, which made absolutely no sense to him. How could a martial art about fighting be weak in close combat? This led to him going to Guy-sensei for help. They had fought to see if he could find out what was wrong with him. Guy had discovered that Naruto was more of a person who used his fist more than his kicks. To solve this issue, Guy gave him a scroll called Full Contact Karate. Naruto had fell in love with the style. He loved using his kicks but there was nothing better than socking someone in the mouth. He mastered both style in 5 years with the help of thousands of shadow clones and Hinata's help who had also begun to use shadow clones once she had got enough chakra for the jutsu. She was only able to make 30 but that was good enough for her at 13. Once he had mastered the style he had begun to defeat Hinata once again much to her unhappiness. It was solved however with a couple of kisses and cinnamon buns and she was all good, much to his happiness. He had also practiced more with his realm heart. The things he had discovered he could do with the form was astounding. He was able to use all bloodlines due to gaining perfect chakra control and being so connected to chakra as if he had eaten a chakra fruit. When he had first discovered this in a spar with Hinata, let's say they were both surprised. Flashback. Water release torrent technique. Hinata slammed her hands to the ground and giant water waves rushed towards Naruto who was currently in realm heart. He had told Hinata about the form and she had said he looked like an angel, making him laugh. However, now he wasn't laughing. A shadow clone of Hinata appeared behind him and also went through hand signs. Lighting balls. The clone then begins to throw a volley of balls towards the giant wave coming, making it glow blue with electricity. You're in trouble now. Kurama's laughter sounded in his head. Yeah, I noticed. Naruto took a second to think about what he could possibly do in order to get out of this. The attack began to get close to him, and his brain was working in overdrive. His lavender eyes then pulsed and it hit him. He then began to go through hand signs after he channeled earth and water chakra. Would release wood dome. A wood dome formed and covered Naruto from the attack that collided with his attack seconds later. He could feel the force at his dome but because he pumped a lot of chakra into the attack he was able to stay safe. He sensed Hinata coming close and dropped the dome to see her shocked face. And Naruto-kun. Why you can use wood style. She pointed to Naruto who looked at what he had just done and gasped. Well would you look at that. He began to run his hands that were covered in golden runes over the wood and he could feel the nature chakra running through the wood. He then began to smirk at remembering how Hashirama used his wood style during the war. Well Hinata-chan, your boyfriend just got a whole lot more badass. He grabbed her into a hug and spun her around making her giggle. Don't go getting a big head Naruto-kun, it wasn't too long ago I was just kicking your butt. She flicked him in the forehead making him rub the spot with a pout on his face until a grin came on his face. Speaking of butts. He then slapped Hinata's butt making her yelp and blush. You seem to be developing nicely. He grinned at her, making her blush even more and she put her face on his chest so he couldn't see the blush on her face. Naruto, you know this means more training, right? Yes, I am well aware. I wonder if I can use any other bloodlines. He then remembered Haku and began to channel water and wind nature chakra to form a small ice saban. Well, what do you know about that? Hinata lifted her face from his chest and looked to see Naruto holding a ice saban. Did you just make that? Hinata asked, touching the saban. Yes, I did. You are just full of surprises. Naruto smirked and pulled her back into his arms. But you love me. He then planted a passionate kiss on her lips, making her smile back. I sure do. She gave him another kiss, and he dropped Realm Heart, and they began to train some more. Flashback end. He wasn't to the level of Hashirama with his wood style but was at least at Haku's level with his ice style. He had used other bloodlines but this did not mean he stopped working on his other training. Once his body was developed enough, he began to use Kurama's chakra and was able to use Four Tails easily. He would have to weaken the seal in order to use more but he would wait for Jiraiya so he could just unlock the seal completely. He and Hinata had overall become very strong. Hinata was without a doubt a high A to low S rank ninja when she went all out. Naruto was a low S rank ninja in base but when he would go into Realm Heart, or use Kurama's chakra he would be a high S rank ninja. He never showed all his skills in the academy but he showed enough to gain a fan club and stay in the middle of the class in grades. He had shown enough so he could be placed on a different team, hopefully Hinata's team. He would replace Kiba's spot on Team 8. Now it was time to get up, it was graduation day. Hinata opened her eyes to feel Naruto holding her to his chest. She smiled, she had really come to love Naruto over the years. At first she just had a crush which evolved into love when he saved her and confessed his love to her. She turned over to gaze at his sleeping face. She looked at him lovingly. Naruto-kun, it's time to wake up. She spoke in a soft and gentle voice. Naruto only mumbled in his sleep. We have to get up for class, he groaned in his sleep. Can I just send a shadow clone? It wouldn't be the first time he had done this. If he and Hinata still had some more training to do, he would send a clone and they would train the day away. No, it's our last day. Naruto cracked open an eye. Fine. He opened his eyes all the way and laid on his back. It's about time, I thought we would never leave. Hinata giggled and climbed on top of his waist and smiled down at him. Come on Naruto-kun, I will make us breakfast. She lowered her head and gave him a soft peck on the lips. She didn't blush anymore when he showed affection like this. She would only blush if things between them began to get hot and heavy, which they have a couple of times, but they would wait for that. Naruto smiled. You make the best food. He then sat up with Hinata still on his lap. I can tell by the way you eat it all up. She gave him a smirk. Just like you eat those cinnamon buns. Naruto chuckled remembering how she would inhale them causing Hinata to pout. You're one to talk, sometimes I think you love ramen more than me. Naruto only gave her a kiss. I love you more than anything in this world. Despite herself, Hinata still blushed from the loving words. She smiled at his words nonetheless. I love you too. She then got off his lap and walked out with a sway in her hips sending him a wink at the door. He chuckled. That vixen, she is gonna get it. Naruto had then got up from his bed revealing he was wearing black shorts and a white t-shirt. He could still see Hinata leaving in nothing but booty shorts and a sports bra showing off her very toned stomach and arms that are lined with muscle but still have her female beauty. He walked in the bathroom to take his morning piss and think about absolutely nothing. Once he finished with that he walked past the mirror and saw how good he looked. He just had to stop and admire himself. Well hello handsome. He gave the mirror a wink and a charming smile. I don't know what Hinata sees in you. Kurama's voice sounded from his head. You are just upset that you don't look as good as me. Kurama scoffed. Why would I want to look like a hairless ape? Why would I want to be an overgrown stuffed animal? Before him and his best friend could get out of hand with their insults. A knock on the door interrupted him. He turned to see Hinata looking at him with a deadpan face. Kurama giving you problems again? She had the pleasure of meeting Kurama, and she had latched onto his very furry body. He had told her his name, and she was happy he trusted her. Yeah, he is only running his mouth though. Hinata could practically hear the growl that came from Naruto's stomach, but if it was because he was hungry or Kurama was getting angry. If you are hungry I will have the food ready soon. In the meantime the trash needs to go out. She then walked back to the kitchen leaving him to put on some slippers so he could take out the trash. He had made his way outside and went to toss the trash out in the back alley. He stopped, however, when he saw the school instructor, Mizuki, talking with Kabuto. He quickly hid his chakra so they wouldn't see him. He had a good idea of what was going on but he used his chakra in his ears to see if he could pick up anything else. I will be taking the scroll tonight and bring it back to Lord Orochimaru, and then he will make me stronger. Mizuki said with greed laced in his tone. Kabuto pushed his glasses up and had a smirk on his face. That was the deal. Just be sure you don't get busted or the deal is off. Naruto already knew that the deal he had with Orochimaru was not going to happen and Mizuki would most likely end up dead. He didn't know that Orochimaru was the one leading this whole operation though. That also brought up the invasion that was going to happen. Naruto needed to find a way to tell the old man that he was going to invade the village. Maybe Mizuki would have some information on what was to come so just in case he would be sure to capture him later. The two then finally finished their conversation and he was able to dump the trash. He made his way back and could smell the lovely food of Hinata's cooking. He opened the door and basically floated to the kitchen. He quickly washed his hands and sat down at the small table that only had 2 chairs for him and his girlfriend. Hinata smiled at him and placed down a plate in front of him. She took off her apron that said kiss the cook and sat down across from Naruto. I hope you enjoy Naruto-kun. He only smiled. You know I will. He then began to dig into his grits, toast and eggs with some orange juice on the side. So while I was taking out the trash I saw our great teacher Mizuki. Naruto said that with sarcasm dripping from his tone. Hinata also knew that Mizuki did not like Naruto, and would always try to find some way to mess with him. For that she found a strong dislike for the man. What was he doing behind the complex? She asked, taking a bite from the toast. He was planning with this spy of Orochimaru. His name is Kabuto, and they are planning to steal the Forbidden Scroll. Hinata's eyes widened. What person would attempt to try and steal that? It is one of the most heavily guarded things in the village. Why didn't you stop them? I know you just woke up, but a Chunin is nothing to you even if you don't know what this Kabuto could do. You are the strongest in the village right now. Naruto blushed at the honest praise from his love. Ah, Hinata-chan, are you trying to butter me up? Hinata gasped and acted as if she was just struck down. And Naruto-kun, I would never do such a thing. Naruto just stared at her, making her look away and whistling innocently with a light blush on her cheeks. Naruto only shook his head and took a bite from his grits, making his fork clank against the glass plate. I didn't get them because they could have some great information. Makes sense. Hinata nodded and also began to eat once again. They then began to finish eating and talked about meaningless things that they both enjoyed. Once they were done eating, they placed their dishes in the sink and went back to their room to get dressed. Naruto went to his closet and pulled out something Hinata had made for him. It was an orange haori with black flames reaching up from the bottom, similar to the one his dad had worn. He had told Hinata about his parents, and she was very shocked. He was wearing an all-black long-sleeve t-shirt with an all-black vest over top that looked like a jounin vest. He had wanted to make one from his original timeline but couldn't find the materials to make it. He was wearing all-black loose-fitting pants that allowed free movement for his legs. He had black ninja sandals to finish the whole outfit off. Overall, he looked pretty badass when looking in the mirror. Thanks again for this cloak, Hinata-chan. No problem, Naruto-kun. It was my pleasure. Hinata walked out of the closet and went to stand next to Naruto in the mirror, letting him get a nice view of what she was wearing. Hinata was wearing skin-tight black leggings that stopped above her ankles, which were wrapped up in white tape that led to black sandals that let her be light on her feet. She was wearing a black skin-tight undershirt keeping her developing breasts covered. Over that was a sleeveless lavender kimono top that could be taken off at any time. You look sexy, Naruto said, putting his arms around her waist while he was behind her. She smiled and turned her head to give him a soft kiss on the lips. And I'm all yours. She smirked hotly at him. And I'm all yours. He leaned down and gave her a deep kiss that made her legs shake and toes curl. God, she loved when he kissed her like that. He pulled back and could see the stars in her lavender eyes. He smirked at the effect he had on her. We should leave before we are held up. She blushed at what he was implying and nodded. They locked the place up and left hand in hand with fingers entwined. While walking to the academy, they received many stares. Some of jealousy, hate, and others just curious. Hinata had gotten used to how they would look towards them, but she only walked with her head high and chest out in confidence. Naruto was glad for that because he didn't want to have to put the hands on somebody, but he would in a heartbeat. Naruto could sense that Danzo had one of his root Anbu on him, but he would soon be dead thanks to a shadow clone Naruto made to take care of him. Ever since the incident at the council, Danzo had been trying to capture him and make him his drone, but that would never happen. He would always kill the Anbu. They were good practice and experience for his body. He also had Hinata fight them so she could get used to fighting people who were trying to kill her. He wondered if Danzo had something to do with the attempt on Hinata's life some time ago, but could never see why he would be interested. There were no more attempts on his or Hinata's life over the years, so he guessed they learned their lesson. They had made it to the academy and walked to their class. When they opened the door and walked in, they could see everyone was excited to learn about the teams they would be placed on. They got a few glances, but everyone already knew that Naruto and Hinata were a thing. Hey, you two! Hinata and Naruto look over to see Sakura waving them over. Over the years, Naruto had forced her out of the way of the fangirl. It took 4 years, but he was able to get through to her and get her to take training seriously. He had tossed her into the library and made her read over the medical books so she could once again be the best medic. Sakura was wearing a red sleeveless top with a zipper in the middle. She had pink elbow pads matching her pink miniskirt that was over black biker shorts. She had on long high-heeled black ninja sandals with some black gloves. Not the best outfit in Naruto's opinion, but he wasn't wearing it. What up, bubble gum? Naruto had to dodge a textbook thrown by Sakura that crashed into the wall, causing the wall to crack from the force she threw at him. Looks like that strength training is coming down really great. It was something Sakura had read about in one of the books on Tsunade Senju. She wanted to learn it, and was undergoing training in order to do so. Hinata was already able to do it, but she didn't use it often. She only used it on Naruto when sparring because he was able to take the hits. Sakura glared at him. I said stop calling me that. Naruto only smirked at her, making the pink-haired girl sigh in defeat. I hope we don't get put on the same team or I would have to kill you in your sleep. Naruto and Hinata laugh at her. I am sure you want to be with your Sasuke-kun, Hinata said teasingly, making Sakura blush in embarrassment. Get away! Sakura yelled and put her head down, causing them to laugh even more. Sasuke, you might want to come and calm your girlfriend down. Naruto spoke to the Uchiha who was facing the window. The boy gained a tick mark. He and Naruto had become friends, but Sasuke would never say that out loud. He saw Naruto as a rival, but Naruto did not see him that way, and it made him a little angry. Naruto knew how Sasuke felt, but he wasn't his old self, and would not chase the boy anymore. He simply helped him, and tried to give him some kind of relation other than being alone. Shut up, loser. Sasuke immediately got on guard, ready for the flick that would come to his head. Naruto would always flick his forehead when he called him a loser, and he was agitated because not only did it remind him of his brother, but he could never track Naruto. He looked everywhere, but when nothing happened he thought it was safe and he let his guard down. That was the wrong thing to do, and he received a flick to the forehead. Damn it, I told you to stop that. He shouted to Naruto, who was sitting next to Hinata with an innocent face. None of the kids saw him move. Only Hinata did. Iruka and Mizuki then walked into the class with a clipboard ready to read off the teams to the class. Okay, for most of you this might be the last time you sit in these seats, I just want to say. Iruka droned on, but Naruto just ignored the man and went into his mindscape to lay in Kurama's soft tales with Hinata, who was able to get in thanks to being in contact with Naruto. They were snapped back to attention when Kurama woke them up by shaking his tail. He is calling teams and I am sure yours will come up. Thanks, Kurama. Hinata said and rubbed his tail gently, making him purr slightly until his eyes widened. Kurama looked to see Hinata with a shocked face along with Naruto, however. Naruto's face was going from shock into a full-on grin. Kurama, I didn't know you could purr like that. Is the big bad Nine Tails a little softy? Naruto then began laughing, making Kurama blush, but nobody could see it thanks to his fur. Hinata giggled into her hand but was having a hard time controlling her laughter. Gee, get out. He then forced them out the mindscape but heard their echoing laughter. He put a tail over his face to hide his shame. That idiot will never let me live this down. When Naruto and Hinata come back to their senses to hear Iruka. Team 7 will be Sasuke, Uchiha, Sakura Haruno. She was about to get up and jump, but she then felt the ki of Naruto and went stiff and quiet. And Kiba Inuzuka. This got an outrage from Kiba. Why the hell is a kick-ass ninja like me on a team with that Uchiha punk? Kiba hated that guy along with Naruto for obvious reasons. Iruka sighed. He did not want to deal with this kid anymore. Because you are the dead last, and we have to pair the dead last with the person who is at the top of the class. If you have any complaints you can take it up with the Hokage. Kiba sat down at getting embarrassed in front of everyone. Hokage office. The Jonin who were taking teams this year were currently in the room looking over the future ninjas of the academy. They were bored until Naruto and Hinata had entered the room. There was mixed reactions about the two all around the room. Some hated the boy and Hinata as well because she was associated with him. They saw Sasuke get up and get in a stance like he was ready to fight someone. Most of the Jonin didn't see it, but the ones who were highly skilled like Kakashi, Guy, and Hiruzen along with the hidden Umbu. They all saw Naruto look up at them and give a thumbs up, making most of them shocked. They knew he was watching. Hokage-sama, I thought I would be getting Kiba Inuzuka for my tracking team. Kurenai said. She was going to be training a tracking team, which made no sense to her because she was a genjutsu type. Originally yes, but things change and now you have a new member. Hiruzen said with a light chuckle, confusing most of the ninja in the room. Classroom. Teammate will be Shino Aburame, Hinata Hyuga, and Naruto Uzumaki. Naruto looked towards Hinata and smiled. He sent a nod to Shino, who gave the two a silent nod. Team 9 is still active. Team 10 will be Ino Yamanaka, Shikamaru Nara, and Choji Akamichi. Ino deflated at having to be on a team with those two. Even if they knew each other their whole life, she wanted to be with Naruto since she had a little crush on him, but knew that is all it would ever be. He was in love with Hinata and she wouldn't come between them. She would focus on her training now. Alright, your sensei will be here shortly, so just wait until they get here. It was a pleasure teaching you all. He bowed and left with Mizuki, who sent a last glance towards Naruto. Hokage office. Kakashi had put his book away and was now looking at the Hokage in slight anger. He wanted to teach his sensei's son, but he would teach the Uchiha although he wanted answers. Hokage-sama, why did I not get the team I originally requested? Hiruzen knew something like this would happen, but he had already made his decision, and it didn't help that Naruto proved he would be better on a different team. That is because Naruto will do much better on Team 8. Shino and Hinata can track the enemy down while Naruto goes in for the finisher. Plus, you are not the correct teacher for young Naruto. What do you mean I am not the right teacher? Kakashi did not like what he was hearing. This was not going the way he wanted it. You are a ninja where things come much more easy to you, similar to Sasuke. He paused to let Kakashi understand what he was saying. Naruto is not like you. He may learn fast, but that is only because he works hard and puts his all into everything. I understand, Hokage-sama. Kakashi nodded and pulled his book back out. Kurenai now understood why she was given Naruto instead of Kiba. He and Hinata are a couple, not to mention it looks like he will work with Shino. She would test them out later. Classroom. Everyone was in the class waiting. The civilian kids had all left with their sensei, and only the clan heir were in the class waiting. They all stop talking when they hear the door slide open and a woman with ruby red eyes and black hair comes into the class. I am here to pick up Team 8. The named team gets up and walks to the door, but before they leave Naruto turns to give some advice. Sasuke, Sakura. I recommend you guys go and do something. Your sensei will be late. They both looked at him confused until Naruto's eyes lit up. I know, Sasuke, why don't you go on that date you told me you wanted with Sakura? He quickly had to run out the room to avoid some kunai. Meanwhile Sakura was blushing and shifting in her seat. As Sasuke-kun, I didn't know you want to go on a date. She got up and grabbed his arm to pull him out the room. I know where we can go. Sasuke tried to resist but Sakura was just as strong. I really hate you, Naruto. Kiba just looked at them with confusion. He wanted to leave as well but someone had to tell their sensei. Training ground 8. Okay you guys, let's introduce ourselves. I will go first to show you what I want. She got a nod from everyone. My name is Kurina Yuhi. I like roses along with fine wine and romance movies. I specialize in genjutsu. I hate perverts and sexist men. My dream is to see you three succeed in your ninja lives. Shino raised his hand and got ready to speak. My name is Shino Abraham. I like bugs and quiet nights in my room. I specialize in my clan techniques and a little bit of poisons. My dream is to take over as clan head and form the best hive in my clan. I don't like when people kill bugs or litter. Wow Shino, I didn't know you did poisons. Naruto clapped impressed. Shino simply pushed up his shades. I like to keep it a secret, it's only logical. Well, I will go next. Naruto said. My name is Naruto Uzumaki. I like the food Hinata cooks. Hinata blushed a little while Kurenai seemed amused. I also like ramen and sunflowers. I specialize in taijutsu, ninjutsu, and sealing. My dream is to start a family of my own and bring world peace. Hinata blushed at his dream. In order to start a family they would have to. Steam came from her ears. She didn't need to think about these things right now, they were too young. Shino was a little surprised at what he heard Naruto specialize in. He figured that he would be a natural in ninjutsu by all the chakra he could feel coming from Naruto and Hinata. World peace, huh? Well, I will help him if there is a thing such as peace. Kurenai thought with a small smile. I have something else to share. Naruto's tone was serious, letting them know it was no laughing matter. Kurenai wondered what he would say. She wondered if he would reveal the fox, but there was no way because it was a S-rank secret. I am the Jinchuriki of the nine-tailed fox. Everything you knew about that night was a lie. If Shino was surprised, he was doing a good job at hiding it. However, that just answered a lot of his unanswered questions about the nine tails. Kurenai had more of an outward reaction if her wide eyes were anything to go by. Why would he say such a thing to people he just met? She didn't know what to say in a situation like this. It would have to be told to the Hokage when she gave her report. Hinata was just smiling. She knew he would do this because he had told her that he would. She just only hoped that the team would have an open mind and not hate Naruto for what he was. Well, Naruto, that was a S-rank secret, but since it was about you, I guess it was up to you to tell whoever you wanted. Naruto simply nodded at what she said. Now I will be giving you guys a test. You will have to find me, track me down and beat me. The team then looks at each other and nod towards each other. Kurenai smiled at them already working together. Okay, we got it. Naruto gave her a thumbs up. Alright, we start now. Kurenai dropped a smoke bomb on the ground and when Naruto blew it away she was already gone. Naruto turned a smirk to Shino. Did you place a bug on her? If you could see under Shino's collar, you could see the smirk on his face. Yes, I did, Naruto-san. It's just Naruto. Naruto-kun, you've been telling him this for years and he hasn't changed his mind, just let him be. Hinata said and pulled Naruto along to go and find their sensei. She is correct, Naruto-san, just let me be. They both looked at Shino for a second in shock. Dude, you just made a joke. Shino, that was a very good joke. Hinata clapped for him. Yes, I have been hanging with Naruto for too long. AAA, don't be like that. Let's just find our sensei. Shino said. With that they all followed Shino who was tracking her with his bug. They had been jumping around the forest for a while until Shino stopped on a branch. What's the matter, Shino? Naruto asked coming next to him. It seems Kurenai-sensei has discovered my bug and removed it from her person. Naruto turned to Hinata who only nodded and activated her Byakugan with only a thought. The veins then pulsed on the side of her head and she began to search the entire forest. She was able to see a longer distance than even her father could see. I found her, Hinata said. She is in a forest that is surrounded by a bunch of trees. Most likely to distract us and make her genjutsu much more effective. Alright, let's go and get her. They then dashed off to the forest to find their sensei. Kurenai was in the forest waiting for her students. She had a feeling they knew where she was. It wasn't that long ago she had found the bug Shino had placed on her. She would hide in this dense forest to hide and use her genjutsu to confuse them. She then spotted her team. It seemed she was correct and they found her. She was about to go through hand signs for a jutsu and confuse them. Kurenai then felt a hand get placed on her shoulder. What's crackin'? Naruto said next to her ear, making her shiver and a small blush to come on her cheeks. She then pulled out a kunai and jumped back ready. There was nobody there. Kurenai looked around to see if she could spot Naruto, but there was nothing. She then quickly had to jump away from a wind jutsu that was coming from behind her. It sliced the thick tree branch off completely, making her surprised. What if I didn't dodge that? Kurenai gripped her kunai a bit tighter. She then heard something above her and saw 4 Narutos coming down with grins on their face. If you don't dodge, you just might die," one of the clones said and began to glow brightly, followed by the other 4. They then exploded and a large explosion sounded in the whole forest, blowing the tree branches and leaves all over the place. Kurenai jumped from behind a tree. Her clothes were a little damaged, and she had slight burn marks on her body. She had barely dodged that attack and suffered some heavy damage. She had little twigs in her hair. Damn, is he trying to kill me? Maybe. She looked up to see Naruto standing on a tree branch in front of her in a taijutsu stance. He threw 3 quick punches that all landed on Kurenai. She didn't even see Naruto move, but she felt the blows that felt like she was just hit with a train. This was called Basaltic Fist 3 combo. It used 3 quick punches to deal heavy damage that could lead to another stronger combo. It was from his full contact karate. Kurenai found this out the hard way. She landed back first into a tree and coughed up some spit from the force. She had to catch her breath. Hitting the tree knocked the wind out of her. Damn, he is not giving me the chance to use genjutsu. And where are the others? She is answered when she catches a glimpse of Hinata, and the next thing she knew was that her chakra points were closed. She then felt Shino place some bugs on her just in case. We got you. Naruto dropped down with a grin plastered on his face. She chuckled but stopped when it hurt a bit. It seems you did. You all pass. She gave them all a smile. Well, this calls for a celebration. How about some ramen? No, to the sweet shop. Soma says he has something new for me. You said that last time, and it was just some jelly on top of the cinnamon roll. So what, we are going and that's final. She walked up to Naruto and poked him in the chest and released some of her chakra, cracking the ground and showing she wouldn't budge. Naruto, seeing this, released some of his own chakra, shattering the ground he was standing on. The air became thick with chakra, making all the animals run away while Shino and Kurenai were sweating from the pressure. They couldn't believe these two had such chakra. They stared at each other for a little while longer, still releasing some of their chakra that started to vibrate the ground and shake the trees around them. They stopped, and then began to make out, causing all the chakra to vanish like it wasn't there. Kurenai and Shino's sweat dropped at the two. One moment they were arguing and about to fight. The next they were making out like nothing has ever happened. What have I gotten myself into with this team? Kurenai thought, looking her team. What if Naruto and his girlfriend trained in wave? And thanks for watching my video till the end. If you enjoy this content, then do consider subscribing to my channel. And leave a like if you guys need the next part. Comment down, and thanks for watching the video, and see you guys in the next video.